This is the King James Radio Network, your radio home for North Brunswick Raiders sports, Restoration Place, Timothy Christian Tigers basketball, the Cal Ripken Baseball District Championships, the Ladies of Our Turf football, and the Jersey Basketball Association.
This is Christian Petrillo, and you're listening to North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
This is your Raiders Live pregame presented by the Cow Team and Remax Country on the King James Radio Network. Corbett Thompson here at jamesisking.com. We are live at New Brunswick High School, where tonight Raiders football is on the King James Radio Network. As tonight, the North Brunswick Raiders take on the New Brunswick Zebras in a GMC White Division matchup. North Brunswick comes in at 4-1 under second-year head coach Mike Sipot. And New Brunswick, the Zebras, they come in at 1-3 under first-year head coach Nate Harris. And so we are here. The sun is set here in New Brunswick. We're right behind Joyce Kilmer Avenue here in New Brunswick. So glad to be with you at jamesisking.com. Also on Facebook, you'll see us under King James Radio Network, and on Twitter at King James Radio 1, the number 1. And so for the Raiders, they're on a 3-game winning streak. So, that's the big thing. The Raiders on a 3-game winning streak, trying to make it 4. And, of course, the big news for North Brunswick is junior running back Miles Bailey back in the lineup tonight after getting injured in the first quarter last week against Woodbridge with a bruised shin. We thought it was a lot worse than that initially, but a shin bruise was the initial report. So Bailey is 100% and ready to go. And so with that being said, the Raiders seem to be back at full strength. For the most part, they get G.D. Marcellus back. I think the only guy that they're really missing is Rami Berberina, who had a sprained MCL. So he might not be ready for another week or so. But with that being said, I didn't talk to Coach Sipot about that, so we might see him tonight for all I know. But with that being said, the Raiders certainly have, don't want to fall into a trap here against New Brunswick. This is a New Brunswick team that's 1-3 and would love nothing more than to spoil the playoff run for North Brunswick here. This is a rivalry game. First time in 7 years that these two teams have met on the football field. North Brunswick winning the last 2. And so, if you're New Brunswick, obviously you want to come in here and try to make a statement if you can against this North Brunswick team. So with that being said, I had a chance, of course, as always, before the game to catch up with the head coach of Raiders football, Mike Sipot. And so we will get to that here in just a moment as soon as I get my wiring situation straight. My thanks, by the way, to Craig Lowry, the athletic director at New Brunswick here, for allowing us to come down and do the game. So with that being said, my conversation with head coach Mike Sipot, which revolved around, not just the game tonight, but of course the Raiders still have a shot at the GMC White Division title, as the Raiders are in second place in the GMC White behind Sayreville and Edison. And so those two teams are playing each other tonight. And if Edison beats Sayreville and North Brunswick can beat New Brunswick tonight, it would create a 3-way tie for the GMC White Division crown. And then, ultimately that would force a 3-way split of the division title. So that is what the Raiders are aiming for tonight. They cannot win the GMC White Division title any other way. They have to beat New Brunswick tonight, and Edison has to beat Sayreville to create the 3-way tie. Edison can still win the title outright if they beat Sayreville and North Brunswick loses tonight. Sayreville can win the title outright with a win. All Sayreville has to do is win. So with that being said, I had a chance to catch up with the head coach of Raiders football, Mike Sipot, about that and other things North Brunswick football. And so here is that conversation with the head coach of Raiders football, Mike Sipot, in his second year, of course, as head coach.
Here with Raiders head football coach Mike Sipot as the Raiders get ready at 4-1 to take on New Brunswick here and over at Memorial Stadium. First time in 7 years that these two teams will meet on the gridiron. So, Coach, I'll throw this at you first. Now, I remember you telling me before the season this was the game that the people asked you about the most. Is this another opponent for you, or is there something bigger than that because it's New Brunswick?
As a staff, you kind of prepare it as another opponent. I mean, you have to. I mean, just to be professional and to keep the consistency, you can't get the outside distractions in the way. You just got to focus on how we're going to beat them on offense and defense and how we're going to attack them on specials. I know for the kids it's very special. A lot of these kids, played with each other in Pop Warner, grew up together, still very good friends. So more for them, it's a pretty special game. I know for some of the guys, even on my staff and my brothers, it's a special place to play. Playing our first Pop Warner games there, playoff Pop Warner games there. We grew up right down the street, so it's a fun game in that aspect. But we just got to make sure we have the task at hand and make sure we compete and have a great game.
And I know you're aware of this, but the GMC White Division Championship is at stake here. Not so much for you in your game, but the Edison-Sayreville game over in Edison. Edison has to win. If they win and you beat New Brunswick, it creates a three-way tie. Is that something that's a motivational tool for you, or no?
We didn't use it. We didn't use it as much as a motivational tool. I mean, our motivation this week was to beat New Brunswick, and if Edison does their job, I'll send Matt a champagne bottle.
I'm sure Coach Mullen will look forward to it. Christian Petrillo, to your quarterback, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs last week, and through my research and my exhaustive research, he's the only quarterback I could find in the history of the program that has ever done it. What's your assessment, your midterm report of him, if you will?
You look at a guy like Chich. He's not the biggest guy on the field, but he's got the biggest heart, and he'll make a play for us. If we need a play, you can count on Chich. And whether it's with his legs or his arm, he pulls some plays out. He looks like Favre, and it might not be what we ask him to do, but he makes a play, and the kids ride that wave with him, and they get on his back, and he's certainly a momentum guy. When he's hot, he's hot. And, we hope for another game like that tonight from him. And, you can't ask, he's a senior leader, a captain. He's doing everything that you should as a senior football player and a captain.
Miles Bailey had to leave last week's game late in the first quarter. Shin bruise was the injury. You mentioned to me he looked very good in practice, so all systems go for tonight?
Yeah, I think he's 100% healthy, healed, full speed, and he'll be ready to go.
Leon Lowry, and this was a guy that I kind of put a check mark next to at the beginning of the season just to keep an eye on him. 9 sacks in the first 5 games. What's allowed him to be as effective as he's been?
He's allowing himself to be coachable. He's got the body and frame for a DN, for a big-time college DN. I mean, 6'4", 200 pounds. You can't ask for a better size, for a DN. But he's very coachable. Coach Nick is sometimes his one-on-one coach, and Coach Nick is, to me, an all-star coach when it comes to that position, and as a D lineman, and he's doing everything that he's taught to do. He's not doing anything out of what he's not supposed to do, and I think that's allowing himself to make plays. And then the other side of that is just talent. I think he's a very talented football player, and he's still got a lot of games left in him.
Again, talking with Raiders head football coach Mike Sipot before tonight's game against New Brunswick. Aaron R. Had his struggles with extra points last week. He did kick the field goal, so he's got a couple of field goals under his belt. Do you switch gears here a little bit after a score? Maybe you think about going for 2 where you would normally go for 1, or do you want to put Aaron back out there just to get his confidence back up?
Aaron's our guy. We need him to kick extra points, and sometimes it's not so much Aaron, it's the whole operation. If someone didn't block or if the snap's not getting back there quick enough, it's the whole operation. So we certainly spent a lot of time on that this week. We maybe added a little wrinkle there, but I joked with Aaron. I'm like, you make the field goals, not the extra points. What's the matter with you? But he'll be fine. He's our guy, and we certainly put time this week coaching him, so hopefully we see a better result tonight.
And then New Brunswick, Ion Brown Miller, number 1. He's their guy that can wreck a game. He can catch a touchdown if you need him to, or on defense he can create turnovers there. How do you plan on stopping him?
We got to limit the home run. They got a lot of home run hitters on the team. They got they got Ion, they got Nadir Harmon, they got Scooby if he's healthy, and they have guys that can do some damage, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So we have to do our job. There's really no magic or secret to it. I think we just have to do our job and limit them to a big play and make sure we keep them out of the end zone.
Being the stout Yankees fan that you are, much to my chagrin, so Yankees over Red Sox, how many games?
I don't care how we get it. I don't care if it's 5 games or a sweep, just win.
There you go. Mike Sipot, the prognosticator, as again we get ready for North Brunswick and New Brunswick. So good luck tonight, and hopefully you come back with a division title. Appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
There you hear from Raiders head football coach Mike Sipot, as again tonight North Brunswick and New Brunswick from here at Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick, right off of Joyce Kilmer Avenue. And so with that, we will take a break, and when we come back in our Raiders Spotlight, we will have Tyree Geaston, senior wide receiver and special teamer. Tyree has been able to make play after play, week after week, through the first 3 games of the season. If I'm out of breath, it's because I'm 46 years old and there's about 46 steps going up to the press box here in New Brunswick. So if I'm a little out of breath, that is why. But we will break, and when we come back, Tyree Geaston will join us on our Raider Spotlight, and we'll get you ready for North Brunswick and New Brunswick again. First time in 7 years that these two teams have met on the gridiron. So with that being said, we'll break. Of course, we'll have this date in Raiders football history as well. So we'll break, and we'll come back in just a moment. This is our Raiders Live pregame presented by the Cal team at RE/MAX Country on the King James Radio Network. Back to our Raiders Live pregame presented by the Cal team at RE/MAX Country on the King James Radio Network. Corbett Thompson here at jamesisking.com. We are live at Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick, New Jersey for Raiders football, presented by the North Brunswick Baseball and Softball Association at nbbsa.com. And also presented by Route 1 Dental. That's RT1, the number 1, RT1Dental.com. You can give them a call, 732-940-0222 for Route 1 Dental in North Brunswick. So, with that being said, we had a chance earlier today to catch up with senior wide receiver and special teams player Tyree Geaston from the North Brunswick Raiders and talk to him about playing in this game tonight against some of his fellow Pop Warner mates from New Brunswick. And, these two teams very familiar with each other from back to, when they could carry a football. And so I had a chance to catch up with Tyree again, who is 3 straight weeks has made a big play to help the Raiders, whether it's, making the toe drag swag inbounds on the sideline or catching a touchdown in the back of the end zone, or the catch and run touchdown that he had last week in the Raiders' 27-7 win over Woodbridge to put them at 4-1. So, without any further ado, I will get you over to Tyree Geaston here in just a second. And so we'll talk to Tyree, and we'll do that right now.
Here with senior Tyree Geaston as the Raiders get ready for New Brunswick tonight. And the reason I wanted to talk to Tyree was, it seems like every week he's making one of those catches that really helps the Raiders out, whether it's in the back of the end zone or along the sideline, or you're catching the onside kick last week. So it seems like game after game he comes up with a play. How are you able to do that? How are you able to make that one play that really seems to contribute to a win and get you guys going?
Well, practice. Every day in practice, coach makes us go hard and do all the drills, like tackle stations, blocking circuits, all that. So it helps us.
Where did you watch guys on TV? Where do you get that awareness of where you are on the sideline or where you are in the end zone? Where does that awareness come from?
Because I watch a whole lot of Odell Beckham Jr. videos, Antonio Brown. And then I always try to apply it to my game every time I see what they do.
Did there come a point last year where you felt like, I know you did some special teams, do you feel like last year there came a point where you needed to show the coaches that you could do more than that you could be involved in the offense?
A little bit, but it's about the team, though. That's all that matters. Like, we winning, I can't complain. We're doing good.
All right. What's the one thing that you guys have to do as a team to get better? You're making your run towards the state playoffs. What's that one thing that you guys have to do as a team to get yourselves to that next level?
Like right now, we're playing together now, but I feel like the team now, we're gelling more. So that's going to help us in the long run because we're all friends.
That code word of together that Coach Saipot always talks about. Senior year for you, how important is this year for you?
It's the most important year.
And any particular reason or no?
I know it's the most important reason.
Well, senior year, you want to go out on a high note. Do you know some of those guys at New Brunswick that you're facing tonight? Kind of familiar faces?
Yeah, I used to play with them when we were kids in Pop Warner.
Is there a guy that you look at as being the toughest one, the toughest foe, so to speak, over there?
Not really.
No? All right, so you treat them all equal?
Yeah.
All right. Senior night comes up in a few weeks. You got senior night, you guys get to go out on the field before the game. Any emotions on what that's going to be like, knowing that it's the beginning of the end?
It's going to be very emotional because I'm going to miss playing with everybody. I'm going to miss all the coaches and everybody, all my teammates, and playing for North Brunswick.
Have been bringing some guys on the team that have tried to help you out and kind of guide you along one way or the other. And I'm talking about players, not so much the coaches. That's their job. But as far as the players, do you have some teammates that kind of give you some guidance here and there?
I can say all of them, but the one that probably he'll be telling me like what to do is
Samir Session.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Samir. And Samir, 9 tackles last week. Tell me, you watched him play. Kind of tell me a little bit about him and his abilities.
He's good. He's gonna have to it's gonna be a struggle trying to catch a ball on him. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, he's really come on as of late. He hits. Definitely. And you feel good about the game tonight? You guys feel confident that you can come out of here with a win?
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident we're going to come out the W.
All right. So Tyree Geeston, again, again, keeping those feet in bounds and making plays for the Raiders. And so hopefully he'll make a couple more tonight. So Tyree, thank you, and good luck to you, all right?
Thank you.
There you hear from Tyree Geeston, who, again, senior wide receiver and special teams guy for the Raiders as we get ready for tonight's game. North Brunswick and New Brunswick. The marching bands look like they're done. The color guard is out on the field here off to my right. So it looks like we're going to have the national anthem. So what we'll do is we'll break here. We'll have this date in Raiders football history, and then we'll come back in just a moment on the King James Radio Network.
It's once again time for this date in Raiders football history as we take a look back at North Brunswick Raiders football through the archives. On this date, October the 5th, 1979, it was North Brunswick all over St. Peter's of New Brunswick, 41-6 at Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick. John McGrath posted 3 touchdowns, while Chuck Gaspardi caught the only Raiders pass of the second half, a 42-yard touchdown reception. Defensive back Ernie Horvath also scored on a fumble recovery. In 1990, the Raiders shut out Colonia 18-0, behind 2 touchdowns from running back Gerald Ruffin, 1 on the ground and 1 in the air. Junior linebacker Don Caruso had 3 of North Brunswick's 5 sacks, and Darrell Banks came up with an interception to give the Raiders some breathing room. In 2012, North Brunswick stopped J.P. Stevens 33-21 as quarterback Tim Parson threw a couple of touchdown passes and ran for another one. Jalen Hobdy had a 53-yard interception return for a score, one of 4 interceptions by the Raiders defense. As we look back at the 15th anniversary of the North Brunswick Raiders 2003 GMC White Division Championship, in game number 6 of that season, the Raiders blasted JFK 48-0. Aaron Hicks had 184 rushing yards on the ground, crossing over the 1,000 mark for the season. Aaron Jackson got into the act with 167 yards and 3 touchdowns on only 8 carries. That is a look at this date in Raiders football history. We'll be back with more of North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. This week at Restoration Place, The Struggle Within, from Pastor John Bazemore Jr.
We are challenged with the things that people don't see. We are challenged with the experiences that we're having on the inside. There may be many things that you are dealing with, but I promise you, a lot of those things, they're so personal, and you can say amen if you agree with this, but they're so personal, you're not willing to share them with everybody. Some of them are so personal, you don't want to share them with anybody.
Restoration Place, on demand on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
We are the North Brunswick Raiders cheerleaders. It's time for Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out.
It's a pleasant Friday evening to one and all. We welcome you to Memorial Stadium right off of Joyce Kilmer Avenue in New Brunswick, New Jersey, where tonight Raiders football is on the King James Radio Network, as tonight the North Brunswick Raiders take on the New Brunswick Zebras in a GMC White Division matchup. North Brunswick comes in at 4-1 under second-year head coach Mike Sipot, and the Zebras of New Brunswick, they come in at 1-3 under first-year head coach Nate Harris. And so New Brunswick, it's a whiteout tonight here at New Brunswick, plus it's homecoming night. So New Brunswick in their white jerseys with the navy blue numbers. They got the blue helmets in navy blue. And, of course, they're here on the near sideline. North Brunswick, they are in their blue jerseys with the white numbers, blue helmets with the double gold stripe down the middle. And so they will come out, the teams will come out here for the coin toss. And so,
at this time, we ask you to direct your attention to midfield.
yeah, we will have the coin toss here. So we'll have to get you our game time temperature shortly. But, of course, our game time temperature is presented by the Weather Channel. We're glad you're with us at jamesisking.com, also on Facebook under King James Radio Network, and on Twitter at King James Radio 1, the number 1. Ion Brown Miller, Karandi Gomez, a couple of the captains for New Brunswick, along with Keyshawn Davila and Dylan Johnson are your 4 captains for the Zebras. Meanwhile, for North Brunswick, Christian Petrillo, Angel Gonzalez, Sean Brahini, and Junior Miles Bailey are your captains. So the coin toss taking place right now, so we'll see who wins that. So if you hear that, New Brunswick has won the toss and will defer to the second half, which means North Brunswick will receive and they will go from left to right. Our game time temperature is presented by the Weather Channel. Mostly cloudy skies and 68 degrees at game time. And so my thanks, by the way, to Athletic Director Craig Lowry for allowing us to come down and do the game tonight. So again, mostly cloudy skies, 68 degrees at kickoff. North Brunswick leads the all-time series 14-7 over New Brunswick. The Raiders have won the last 2, winning 35-0 in their last meeting in 2011. North Brunswick has never won more than 2 in a row against New Brunswick.
Number 55, that's South Florida to kick off for the Zebras.
So New Brunswick will kick it off here. So let's see. I'm going to make sure I put that there. And so number 55 is Axel. Let's see. I got to put my glasses on. That's the problem, is I can't do the glasses and the binoculars at the same time. But number 55 is Alfredo Chavez Gonzalez kicking off. Miles Bailey back deep for the Raiders. So Bailey back deep, line drive kick, and it will go towards the middle. Picked up there at the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Bailey 40. Bailey to the 45, stumbles his way to midfield. And so Bailey all the way to midfield. Tackled by number 55 for New Brunswick, Alfredo Chavez Gonzalez. So the Raiders will have it 1st and 10 under senior quarterback Christian Petrillo. Chich, good year so far for the Raiders. So Petrillo with 419 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So 1st and 10 from midfield. Manny Herrera goes in motion to the far side. Petrillo takes the snap with Bailey to his right. Hands off to Bailey, going right, crosses midfield, 45, and gets to about the 41. So a gain of 9 for Bailey there.
So they kicked out Jalen. Exactly.
Tackle made for New Brunswick by number 58. And that would be actually, well, let's see. That might be Josh Rodriguez there on the tackle. So Petrillo takes the snap out of the gun, dropping back, throws it, and throws it at the 39. He's got a man. 39, 30, open space. 20, 10, spins his way inside the 10. I believe that's Bailey. And he is tackled at the 5. Pile still moving. And Bailey, check that is Brandon Outlaw finally brought down. And so that was on a 2nd and 1. And so 1st down and goal for the Raiders. Mike Sipot trying to keep it up tempo. Ball is, looks like it's, well, the referees are discussing something over here. Looks like the ball's going to be spotted at the 6-yard line. All right, so first and goal then from the 6. With 11:17 to go in the first. No score. North Brunswick and New Brunswick split backfield here for Petrillo. Chris Arnold to the left. Miles Bailey to the right. Chich out of the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off to Bailey, off tackle left into the end zone. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders. Miles Bailey. Page 5 of the bailout plan from Miles Bailey. That's a 6-yard run, and the Raiders lead it 6-0 right off the bat. So again, rushing touchdown number 5 for Bailey, who is back to full strength. So Aaron R. will kick the extra point. So Petrillo to hold. Snap, Petrillo's spot, R's kick, and it has the distance. It is good. So with 11:03 to go here in the first quarter, the Raiders, first minute into the game, take an instant 7-0 lead. So we'll break, and we'll come back to New Brunswick in a moment with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. Aaron R. will kick this off. It'll go to the near side in the 8-yard line, and that is Ion Brown Miller, and he will get tackled at the 26. So it will be 1st and 10 for New Brunswick. Ball will be at the New Brunswick 27-yard line. Quarterback Nadir Harmon, who has a scholarship offer to Howard University, pending. Empty backfield for New Brunswick here. 4 receivers, 2 to each side. Harmon out of the shotgun. And now a couple of men in motion as this will be a handoff, and coming to the near side, crossing the 20 to about the 22 is Dave Hicks. G.D. Marcellus on the tackle for the Raiders. And so ball is at the 32, gain of 5. You're looking at 2nd and 5 from the 32. 10:32 to go in the first, no score. This time, Harmon out of the shotgun, and Miller comes in motion, handoff, and straight up the middle. Manny, you check that, Tyrell Pereira on the stop. Dylan Johnson on the carry. Johnson gets to the 34. Again, Tyrell Pereira on the stop for the Raiders. Ball to the 34. Gain of 2. 3rd and 3 from the 34. 10 minutes to go in the first. Raiders lead it 7-0. And now going over in motion to the far side is taking the snap. Quick throw to the right and completes it. And upfield to the 40, 45. And tackled there by a host of Raiders is Dylan Johnson. So good pass from Nadir Harmon to Dylan Johnson. So the Zebras will have it 1st and 10. And so the ball will be flagged down. We have a flag. So it looks like it'll come back. So that pass from Nadir Harmon to Dylan Johnson negated by a holding call from the Zebras. So that will bring it back. With 9:46 to go here in the first. It'll bring it back to the 29, so a loss of 5. It'll be 3rd and 8 from the 29-yard line. So Harmon looking for the play. Hicks will come out. Checking in is Tajay Moore. Trips left. Out of the shotgun, taking the snap is Harmon. Drops back, 5-step drop, throws it over the middle, and it is intercepted! Intercepted! That's Brandon Outlaw, and he is bowled over at the 28-yard line. Harmon made the tackle, but Brandon Outlaw gets the interception, his 2nd in 2 weeks. That was a pass over the middle, and Outlaw able to pick it off.
Yeah, no, he did. Who's number 2? It's
First down, 10 yards for the Raiders.
And so it'll be Raiders football It'll be a 1st and 10 over at the New Brunswick 28-yard line. So Christian Petrillo will work out of the shotgun with Miles Bailey to his left. 2 receivers left. In motion is Brandon Outlaw to the far side. Petrillo takes the snap, rolling left, throws it left, and through the hands of Outlaw, incomplete. It's Dave Hicks on the coverage for the Zebras. It will be 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 from the 28 with 9:13 to go here in the first quarter. Again, the Raiders lead it by a score of 7-0. 2 receivers right. Raiders going from left to right. Split backfield for Petrillo out of the gun. Bailey to his left. Outlaw to his right. Chich calling signals. Takes the snap. Hands off to Bailey. Breaks 1 tackle. Going right. 30, 20. Stutter steps to the outside. 15. And forced out of bounds at about the 13. And so Dylan Johnson on the stop. So ball is at the 13. Gain of 15 on that for Bailey, 1st and 10. From the 13-yard line, 9:06 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 is your score. And so Petrillo this time with Bailey to his left, 2 receivers left. Chich out of the shotgun. Will wave a man in motion. That's Outlaw. Takes the snap and fakes the handoff to Outlaw. Runs it straight up the middle to about the 5. Or check that, the 10 rather. So they'll spot it at the 11. So gain of 2 for Chich. 2nd and 8 from the 11 with 8:43 to go in the first. And Raiders with a 7-0 lead. So Raiders trying to set their formation here. Chris Arnold to the right of Christian Petrillo. 2 receivers left on 2nd and 8 from the 11. Chich out of the gun, takes the snap, quick throw to the right, completes it to Bailey, but he's going to be tackled here. No, breaks a tackle and gets to the near sideline, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And so on the tackle for New Brunswick is Karandi Gomez. So no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Well, they moved it back to the 13. So it'll be at the 13. 3rd and 10 from the 13. And so Bailey to the right of Petrillo, out of the gun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Bailey. He's going to be wrapped up. And so Tajay Moore wrapping up Petrillo in the backfield. And so ball is now back at the 15. Loss of 2. 4th and 12 from the 15. What will the Raiders do here? Will they kick it or will they go for it? Aaron R. has 2 field goals made on the season. He's 2 for 3 in that department. It would be a 32-yard field goal if the Raiders were to try it. R has not kicked from that range. So it'll be 4th and 12 from the 15. 7:40 to go here in the first. Empty backfield. Petrillo out of the shotgun. 2 receivers left. Outlaw in motion. Chich takes the snap and fakes it, and he'll go to Outlaw. Outlaw going left, and he's going to be stopped. Looks like Ion Brown Miller, one of the guys on the stop, well short of the 1st down. And so the Raiders will turn it over in the red zone on downs. So let's see where they spot the ball. They spot the ball at the 12-yard line. So only a gain of 3.
1st down, 10 yards to go for the Zebras.
On that 4th and 12.
12-yard line.
So New Brunswick will have it. 1st and 10 from the 12. So out of the shotgun, Harmon takes the snap, tries to keep it, and he is sacked in the backfield. Chris Arnold back there. Arnold back there along with Leon Lowry. Lowry had 9 sacks coming into this game. So it'll be second down. Ball is back at the 7-yard line. So second and 15 from the 7 with 7 minutes to go here in the first. And the Raiders with a 7-0 lead. So Harmon will work out of the shotgun. And now in motion, that's Miller taking the snap, hands off to Dylan Johnson and crosses the 10, gets to about the 11 before he is tackled there. Brandon Outlaw on the stop for the Raiders. That'll bring us. Ball is at the 11-yard line, so 3rd and 11 from the 11. 2 receivers left for the Zebras. Looks like Miller to the right of Harmon out of the shotgun. Harmon 5-step drop, looking, he scrambles out of the pocket, rolling right, looking, he's going to run. Breaks 1 tackle, stiff arms a man, comes down to the 15, to the near side, 20, out of bounds. Miles Bailey forces him out. So good job there by Harmon to make something out of nothing. It's not enough, though, for a New Brunswick first down. And so the ball is at the 18-yard line.
First down, New Brunswick.
There it is. Okay, so gain of. Ball is at the 23. So it is indeed a first down. 1st and 10 from the 23. Going in motion to the far side. They'll hand this off on a jet sweep going around the edge. 40, 50, and out of bounds is Dave Hicks. So Dave Hicks on the end around. And the clock stops with 5:53 to go in the first. Gain of 25 for Hicks. 1st and 10 from the 48 with 5:53 to go here in the first quarter. So Harmon with a split backfield will work out of the shotgun. Hicks goes in motion to the far side, takes the snap, hands off here. This is Johnson, and he is wrapped up back at the line of scrimmage. Leon Lowry back there along with Tyrell Pereira. So nothing there for Johnson. 2nd and 10 from the 48. 5:34 to go in the first. Harmon out of the gun, takes the snap, drops back, looks, passes tipped and incomplete. Samad Wingo knocking that down. So first pass attempt of the night, at least the first one in the books. New Brunswick did have another pass play to Dylan Johnson, but it was called back on a penalty. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the New Brunswick 48 with 5:20 to go in the first. Raiders lead at 7-0. We got trips left. Harmon will work out of the shotgun with Miller. We'll check that. Johnson to the right, takes the snap, dropping back. Harmon looks, he'll run, steps up in the pocket, running 50, and he collides at the 46-yard line with Asaru Napier. So Napier on the tackle. And so that will bring up 4th down. Ball is at the 46. So that is gain of 6 there. 4th and 4 from the 46. New Brunswick will punt. And I believe that is that Dave Hicks. I believe that is Dave Hicks. No, check that. That is Harmon. Harmon punting. So Harmon punts it from his 41. Miles Bailey on the return. He'll let it go. It'll take a Raider bounce to the 27. And so the Raiders will have it 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line with 4:24 to go here in the first quarter. North Brunswick with a 7-0 lead. So glad you're with us at jamesisking.com. Also on Facebook, you'll see us under King James Radio Network and on Twitter at King James Radio 1. The Raiders, of course, on a 3-game winning streak last week, defeating Woodbridge 27-7. We got a penalty against New Brunswick, it looks like.
Illegal formation against the Zebras.
So illegal formation against New Brunswick. We'll see if the Raiders make him kick it again. So I think the Raiders will probably make them kick it again here. Nope. Okay, they'll mark it off at the end of the return or no return. So then it's at the 33-yard line. So it'll be first down and 10. So first and 10 from the 33. Christian Petrillo with Chris Arnold to his right. Will work out of the shotgun, 2 receivers left. Herrera in motion to the far side, and whistle blows. Looks like we got a false start against the Raiders. So penalty against North Brunswick. The Raiders had 8 penalties last week, and so they're trying to cut down on that. Ball is back at the 28. It'll be first and 15 from the 28 with 4:24 remaining in the first. 7-0 Raiders. Split backfield. Arnold and Bailey. And the give will be to Bailey off tackle left and maybe gets a yard to the 30. Maybe a gain of 2 there for Bailey. So you're looking at 2nd and 13 from the 30. As the clock runs with 4:06 to go in the first. 7-0 Raiders. 2 receivers to each side. Arnold to the right of Petrillo. Petrillo takes the snap, dropping back, looking, scrambling, going left, and he's going to be sacked. Sacked by Davey Hicks. Tajay Moore, excuse me. Tajay Moore, excuse me. He gets the sack. And so, ball is back at the 17-yard line. Loss of 13. 3rd and 26 now from the 17 with 3:20 to go in the first. So New Brunswick, it looks like they come to play tonight. So again, 3rd and 26 from the 17. So Petrillo takes the snap out of the gun, looking left, looking, throws it left, and it is. He is sacked at the 1. I thought he threw it. Sacked at the 1-yard line. Petrillo sacked again at the 1. So it looked like number 54, Keyshawn Davila for New Brunswick was back there. And so a loss of 16, which means it's 4th and 42 from the 1. R from the back of his end zone will punt. Gets it away. Backing up for the return at midfield is Miller. And 40, 30, near side, 20, goes around and out of bounds. Right around the 20-yard line. So Ion Brown Miller on the return, and New Brunswick has very good field position with 2:18 remaining here in the first. And so we are still at 7-0 Raiders, but again, New Brunswick with very good field position. So 1st and 10, New Brunswick from the North Brunswick 20 with 2:18 left in the first. Split backfield for Harmon Johnson to the left. As Harmon will take the snap, and guys going in motion to the far side, which includes Tajay Moore. And now Harmon takes the snap, dropping back, and we get a whistle before 2 linemen converge on the quarterback, Harmon. So flag down here, offside against the Raiders.
Offsides against the Raiders. All right, we'll take that. We'll take that all day.
So that brings us to 1st and 5 from the 15. We got 2:16 remaining in the first quarter.
We have a correction. It's offsides against the Zebras.
Oh, so it's offside the other way against New Brunswick.
I wonder who that was.
That'll put us at 1st and 15 then from the 25. So 2:16 remaining here in the first. Harmon with Johnson behind him. Out of the shotgun, hands off to Johnson. Off tackle right, 25-20, and down inside the 20 to about the 18. Brandon Outlaw on the stop for the Raiders. So Dylan Johnson going off tackle. Ball is at the 18-yard line. Looks like gain of 7, 2nd and 8 from the 18. With a minute 53 to go. Minute 53 to go in the first. Harmon with Johnson behind him, two receivers right. Out of the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off, and straight up the middle is Johnson to the 5. He is tackled there. Miles Bailey on the stop. So Dylan Johnson, a big carry. It'll be 1st and goal for New Brunswick.
First down, goal to go for the Zebras. Ball at the North Brunswick 5.
Yeah, it looks like it's at the 5-yard line, so a little bit of hurry up for Harmon. Out of the gun, hands off to Johnson, and breaks one tackle, but not another. G.D. Marcellus wraps him up. So Marcellus making the stop, no gain. 2nd and goal from the 5. 1:10 to go here in the first, and I think New Brunswick wants a timeout. As the New Brunswick offense waits for the play to come in. All right, so no timeout. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. Harmon, again out of the shotgun here. Out of the gun. With Hicks behind him, takes the snap, hands off to Hicks, going up the middle, and he's going to be short. Falls to about the 3 before Samad Wingo stops him. Now 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal from the 3. 20 seconds to go in the first, and I think New Brunswick's going to let the quarter run out here. And so, no, they're getting to the line. They're going to get to the line here. 10 seconds left in the first, so New Brunswick looks like they're going to snap it. Harmon will work out of the shotgun, takes the snap, and hands off running right is Hicks. Over to the far side, touchdown New Brunswick. So Dave Hicks from 3 yards out makes it 7-6 North Brunswick pending the extra point. So good field position for New Brunswick, and they cash in. Those 2 sacks of Petrillo on North Brunswick's last possession come back into play here. And so the extra point for New Brunswick. We'll tell you who's kicking it in a minute. Snap, spot, kick is blocked, I believe. And so the kick was from number 55, Alfredo Chavez Gonzalez. That ends the first quarter. And so North Brunswick leads it 7-6 over New Brunswick after 1. We break, and we'll come back with the second quarter in just a moment. This is Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. We come back with the kickoff to start the second quarter. New Brunswick will go from left to right. This one is a squib kick. Gets to about the 31-yard line. Picked up there by Chris Arnold to the 40, 45, and he is tackled there. So tackled there by number 11, Quentin Tibbs for New Brunswick. So 1st and 10 Raiders from their own 45 as they come out for their, this will be their 3rd possession. Scored on the first and had to punt it away on the second. So 1st and 10 Raiders from their own 45. 2 receivers right. Christian Petrillo out of the shotgun. Bailey to his right. Takes the snap, and he'll run. Off tackle right now, tries to go around the edge. 40, 45, and upended. Ball pops loose. Ball is loose. Fumble, and picked up. Looked like Bailey. Check that. Brandon Outlaw picked it up and advanced it. Outlaw picked up the fumble. And so the Raiders catch a break. And it's a first down. Gain of 10 at the 35. First and 10 Raiders from the New Brunswick 35. Petrillo out of the shotgun, two receivers right. Coming in motion is Bailey. He gets the handoff, cuts it back up the middle, 35-30, and is tackled at about the 25. And so we get a timeout. New Brunswick will call time. And so Bailey gets 5. Timeout called by New Brunswick. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
Dana and Lisa here from Our Turf Football to tell you that the Our Turf podcast is up and running.
Did you know that women make up over 45% of all NFL fans and counting? Here at Our Turf, we have our own take on what's happening around the National Football League with special features, previews, reports from our official fan reporters covering each team, and interviews with players and personalities who have the scoop on what's happening. Women are in the know when it comes to football, and it's time the rest of the world knew it too.
Our Turf Football is every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
We come back off the timeout. New Brunswick using their first timeout of the night. And so the Raiders will have it. It would be second and looks like from the 28, 2nd and 3. So Petrillo with a split backfield, hands off to Bailey up the middle, gets the first down inside the 25 and about the 23, and his forward progress stopped. So Dylan Johnson, one of the guys on the stop there for the Zebras. So the ball at the 23. And that is indeed a Raiders first down. So again, gain of 5 for Bailey there. Split backfield for Petrillo on 1st and 10. Arnold to the left, Bailey to the right. Now they'll switch. Bailey to the left, Arnold to the right. Two receivers right. Chitch out of the gun on first down from the 28. Chitch takes the snap, hands off to Arnold, sidesteps a man, and gets about maybe a couple of yards to the 23. So on the stop for New Brunswick, number 22, Jaden Mahan. So actually a loss of 1. Yep, they moved it back. 2nd down and 11 at the 24 with 10:15 left in the first half. And so 3 receivers bunched right. Petrillo with Arnold to his right. Takes the snap, rolling right. Looking, Chitch looking. Rolls towards the sideline, throws it, and caught inbounds along the sideline by Bailey. So Bailey makes the catch on a short pass. So the ball is at the, it looks like it's at the 21. So gain of 3, 3rd and 8 from the 21. 9:55 to go in the half. I got to get an update on that Sayreville Edison game from Greg Tafaro. Meanwhile, 3rd down here for the Raiders. Empty backfield for Petrillo. 3rd and 8 from the 21. And now coming in motion and handed out. Petrillo keeps it off the fake handoff to Outlaw, and he gets a couple. About the 16. So ball is at the 17, it looks like. So you're looking at about 4th and 4. The Raiders looks like they will go for it here. 4th and 4 from the 17 with 9:28 to go in the half. Raiders lead at 7-0. Like I said, we'll have to get an update here from Greg Tafaro momentarily. So 4th down. House formation around Petrillo. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolling left, looking, throws it in zone, and it is caught. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders. That is Tyree Gaston. Geeston in the left corner of the end zone. Another toe drag swag from Tyree Geeston. And the Raiders lead it 13-6.
Was it cover 2 or black? It was. No, it's not.
So Geeston on the catch. And so Aaron R. will kick the extra point. Petrillo with the hold, R with the kick. And it is no good. And so, with 9:07 remaining in the first half, North Brunswick 13, New Brunswick 6. So we'll break, and we'll come back here in just a moment with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. All right, so we come back. So the Raiders now lead it by a score of 13-7. Aaron R. will kick things off. So, and now from right to left, this will be a high kick over to the far side in the 7-yard line. That is Ion Brown Miller. Spins out of a tackle and is drilled at the 20-yard line by Chris Arnold. So it will be first down and 10. So first and 10 from the 22-yard line for the Zebras.
10 yards to go for the Zebra.
So first and 10 at the New Brunswick 22. We have 9 minutes to go here in the second. So Ion Brown Miller slot right. Nadir Harmon out of the shotgun. Coming in motion is Dylan Johnson. And now another man in motion. That's Hicks. Takes the snap. Hicks cuts it upfield, but maybe gets a couple before Chris Arnold trips him up. Gets to about the 23. So ball at the 23. It looks like it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 23. With 8:33 to go here in the half. So Harmon will work out of the shotgun once again. And takes the snap. He'll hand off. And this is Johnson. He is wrapped up in the backfield. So Tyrell Pereira back there. But it looks like the guy on the tackle was Samad Wingo.
3-yard loss on the play. It'll be third down and 11.
So ball is back at the 21. 3rd and 11 for the Zebras with 7:53 to go in the half. Raiders lead it 13-6. Johnson to the left. Miller in motion to the far side. Harmon rolling left out of the gun. Running to the far side. 20, 25, 30 and is knocked out of bounds. Sean Brahini forced him out. Looks like it'll be short of a first down, and New Brunswick sending the punt team out. And so ball spotted at the 30-yard line. And so gain of 9 for Harmon. 4th and 2 from the 30. New Brunswick will punt. So Harmon will punt from his own 20-yard line. Back deep for the Raiders is Miles Bailey, standing at his own 39. So Nadir Harmon, again, the scholarship offer to Howard University for Harmon. Multitasking here for the Zebras. Takes the snap. And will get away a clean kick here. Bailey will let it bounce at the 35. It takes a Raider bounce all the way to the 42. And so ball at the 42-yard line. It looks like we have a flag down as the refs will talk it over. So we'll see what happens here. And so let's see what the refs decide here. They're talking it over amongst each other. And they're walking back towards where the ball was caught. Holding call against the Raiders, so this will probably be tacked on to the end of the play, probably. So 7:27 to go in the half. Yep.
10 yards at the end of the play.
So 10-yard penalty from where it was downed, and the ball is at the 32. So the Raiders will have it 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 32. Petrillo with 2 receivers left. Geeston and Outlaw to the near side. Chich out of the gun. Hands off to Bailey. Gives to Outlaw on a reverse. Outlaw cuts it back inside 30 and is dropped at about the 34. So a little trickery in the Raider playbook from offensive coordinator Pushawn Brown. So Tibbs on the stop, Quentin Tibbs.
2-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
So ball at the 34, 2nd down and 8. With 6:50 to go in the half. Petrillo out of the gun. Bailey to his right. 2 receivers right. Chich takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Wilking throws it right side and too high, incomplete. Intended for Aaron R. And
3rd down, 8 yards to go. From the north.
Hakir Deloach on the coverage for New Brunswick. So it will be 3rd down and 8 from the 44 with 6:50 left in the half. Again, the Raiders lead it by a score of 13-6.
Watch screen.
Chris Arnold to the left of Petrillo. 2 receivers left. Now Arnold moves to the right. 2 receivers also to the right. Petrillo out of the gun. Takes the snap. Dropping back. Here comes the rush. Throws it deep ball right side. And it is incomplete.
What was Markel? What happened to Markel?
Looks like that was intended for Tyree Geeston. Well, check that, Aaron R. So pass intended for R. And Dion Joseph on the coverage for New Brunswick. So Chich going for the home run there. It'll be 4th and 8. Aaron R. will punt. 4th and 8 for the Raiders from their own 34. R will punt, standing at his own 22. 2 men back deep for New Brunswick here. Ion Brown Miller is back deep. And it looks like we get a timeout. The Raiders call time. And so the Raiders will call time with 6:44 to go here in the half. 13-6 is your score. We'll have an update from Greg Tafaro somewhere towards the half here. And so we'll break and we'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. Aaron R. set the punt off the timeout. He gets it away. A high kick. It looks like it'll be a fair catch at the 28-yard line for New Brunswick.
10. Fair catch called by Ion Brown Miller for the Zebras.
And so making the fair catch for New Brunswick was Hakir Deloach. Nakir Deloach, I should say. So 1st down and 10 for the Zebras.
First and 10 for the Zebras.
Coach Sherrill, stay next to Coach
Ball is at the, looks like the 27-yard line. 1st down and 10. Harmon will work out of the shotgun here.
Hey, Jeff!
Going to his left, that's Dylan Johnson.
Jeff.
Johnson to his left.
Jeff.
Looks like New Brunswick trying to get their personnel together here. With 6:37 to go in the half. Trips right for the Zebras. Johnson out of the gun. Harmon out of the gun. Takes the snap. Throws it right to Johnson. And he is clipped immediately by Sean Brahini. And incomplete. The pass is incomplete. So Brahini on the coverage. 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 from the 27 with 6:33 to go in the half.
10 yards to go from the 28-yard line of New Brunswick.
And so I will work on that update from Greg Tafaro here. If I can get it. My laptop is playing games with me. 2nd down and 10 from the 27. 2 receivers right for Harmon. Going in motion is Hicks out of the shotgun, handoff to Hicks. He tries to go left around the edge, 30, 35, and is dumped there. Over on the sideline. So it looks like Samir Session, I believe. Yep, on the tackle for the Raiders. So Hicks on the carry. Ball at the 35. So looking at 3rd and 2 from the 35. 5:58 to go in the half. 13-6 Raiders. New Brunswick with a 3rd and short here. 3rd and 2 from the 35. And so bunch formation here. Harmon out of the gun, takes the snap, hands off, going off tackle. Right is Johnson, and he is stopped at the 35. Brahini, among others, on the stop. And so that was Johnson on the carry, but it's going to fall short. And so ball at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 2 from the 35 with 5:22 remaining in the half. And so Nadir Harmon will punt for the Zebras. He is back at his own 22. Miles Bailey back deep for the Raiders. He is on his own 35. And so snap to Harmon. He'll punt this away, going from left to right. It'll take a Zebra bounce across the 30 and down at about the 25. Hicks on the downing, if you will. And so it'll be 1st down Raiders from the 25-yard line. I said Hicks. I was mistaken. That is number 6, Michael Bryant, downing that for the Zebras. So it'll be 1st down and 10 Raiders from their own 25-yard line. Well, Raiders just haven't been able to. We'll see if they can put things away in the second half, but split backfield for Petrillo out of the shotgun, takes the snap, hands off to Bailey, dances left across the 25, spins his way to the 30, and still going. 35, might have a 1st down. Bailey able to dance and spin his way to 10 yards. And it is indeed a Raiders 1st down. Courtesy of WCTC, 8 carries and 65 yards for Miles Bailey.
Left formation.
So 1st and 10 from the 35. Petrillo with 4:35 to go in the half. Split backfield. Arnold to the left, Bailey to the right. Chich out of the gun, takes the snap. Hands off to Arnold up the middle, gets to the 39. And that's about it. Tackle made by number 50, Alquan Brown-Taylor. So it'll be 2nd down. Ball is at the 39, so 2nd and 6 for the Raiders from the 39, their own 39. 4:03 to go in the half. Raiders lead at 13-6. Split backfield for Petrillo out of the gun. He'll hand off. Bailey going left, crosses the 40 to about the 44. Tackled there. And tackled by Dave Hicks. And so ball is spotted.
4-yard gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down, 3 yards to go.
Let's see where the ball is. Ball is at the 43.
Tell them to watch the ball.
3rd and 2 on a gain of 4 from Bailey with 3:29 to go in the half. 13-6 Raiders. And now the Raiders trying to get their personnel together. North Brunswick has 2 timeouts left in the half. So does New Brunswick. Empty backfield for Petrillo. Trips right. And now Petrillo looks to the sideline. Pushawn Brown calling him over, the offensive coordinator, and it's going to be timeout North Brunswick. So the Raiders will try to get it straightened out with 3:12 remaining in the first half. North Brunswick 13, New Brunswick 6. We'll break. We'll come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. Back off the timeout. 3 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the second quarter. It'll be North Brunswick 13, New Brunswick 6 from Memorial Stadium here in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Corbin Thompson with you at JamesIsKing.com. And so The Raiders off a timeout have a 3rd and 2 from their own 43-yard line with 3:12 remaining in the second quarter. And again, the Raiders lead at 13-6. 4 receivers, 2 to each side. Empty backfield for Petrillo. Working out of the shotgun on 3rd and 2. Going in motion is Outlaw to the far side. Takes the snap and dumps it to Herrera on the shovel pass. And he is tackled. His progress took him forward across the 45. Tackled on the shovel pass by Cassandra Gomez. Looks like it's going to be 4th and 1. So 4th and 1 for the Raiders. Petrillo will try to sneak it across. And let's see. New Brunswick thinks that they've got the ball back here. Ball is at the, they're going to, the first down, North Brunswick. They bring it to the Raider 47. So Petrillo able to get 2, or 3 rather, on 4th down. Another big 3rd down for Chich. 1st and 10 from the 47. 2:35 to go in the half. Split backfield for Petrillo out of the shotgun. Chich takes the snap and hands off to Arnold around right. 40, 50, 45, breaks the tackle, 40, 35 down inside the 35 to about the 32. Chris Arnold. Now Keir DeLoach on the tackle for New Brunswick. Another big run for Chris Arnold. Ball is spotted at the 32-yard line, so that's a gain of 21. 1st and 10 from the 32. Petrillo out of the gun. Hands off to Bailey. Going right, 30. And gets inside the 30 to about the 27. And tackled there. On the stop is Jaden Mayhem. So 2nd down. It'll be 2nd down from the 26 with 1:42 to go in the half. Split backfield for Petrillo. The Raiders have 1 timeout left in the half. Petrillo out of the gun. Takes the snap, dropping back, looks, throws it left side, and incomplete. Too high for Brandon Outlaw. Eye on Brown. Miller on the coverage. Tyree Geaston was also in the area. And it'll be 3rd down and 4. So 3rd and 4 from the 26 with 1:32 to go, or 1:33 to go in the half. And again, the Raiders clinging to a 13-6 lead, trying to expand it. So 2 receivers left. 2 receivers bunched right. Arnold to the right of Petrillo out of the gun. But Chich takes the snap and crosses the line of scrimmage down to the 20, inside the 20. Petrillo to the 19. Another big 3rd down run for Christian Petrillo. Time after time after time, Chich gets it done on 3rd down. Ball is at the 18. 8-yard gain on 3rd and 4 for Chich. 1st down from the 18. Petrillo out of the shotgun. Arnold to his left. Takes the snap. He'll run. Tries to stiff arm a man and cross the line of scrimmage to about the 16. Looks like Hicks on the tackle there. Hicks on the tackle along with Tyre Blunt. So 2nd and 8 from the 16, we'll call it. With 50 seconds and counting left in the half, the Raiders down to 1 timeout. North Brunswick 13, New Brunswick 6. Split backfield. Petrillo out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, throws it right side, end zone looking, and jump ball, and incomplete. Is it a caught? Is it a catch? Check that. Leon Lowry. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders. I didn't think he caught that ball, but he did. Lowry making the catch on the far side of the end zone. DeLoach was on the coverage, but Lowry able to make the catch. That 6-foot frame of Lowry. And so extra point time. Aaron R. will kick the extra point. And Petrillo gets the snap, and it's going to be blown dead.
There is a penalty marker on the flag.
So we'll see what this is. This looks like a false start against North Brunswick.
They're doing it right now.
So Leon Lowry catching that jump ball on the far side of the end zone. They'll move it back here. So they'll move it back, looks like to about the 8-yard line. And so the Raiders currently at a 19-6 lead.
You got bunch. You got bunch here. You got bunch. You got bunch.
I didn't think Lowry caught that ball, but referee signaled touchdown a couple of seconds later, and now we get a whistle. And it looks like the Raiders will call their final timeout of the half.
North Brunswick Township High School.
So with 37 seconds left here in the second quarter, the Raiders will call their final timeout of the first half. They lead it by a score of 19-6. We'll break. We'll come back on the King James Radio Network. We come back off the timeout. The Raiders have used their last timeout of the half. 37 seconds left to go here in the second. 19-6. North Brunswick. The Raiders trying to kick an extra point here. They have not had the better of those as of late.
All right, looks like it's going to be.
So let's see. It looks like the Raiders are going to go for 2 here. We talked about this with Mike Sipot in our pregame about going for 2 or the extra point. Raiders will go for 2 here. Empty backfield for Petrillo. 3 receivers right. Chich out of the gun and fakes to Bailey coming in motion. Scrambling. Turns left. Now reverses field to the right. Throws it right. End zone. And it is caught. Caught for the 2-point conversion. And I believe that is Aaron R. I believe it is. Aaron R. making the catch. Yep, on the 2-point conversion. And so the Raiders lead it 21-6 now with 37 seconds left in the half. So we talked about that with Mike Sipot in our pregame about whether to go for 2 or to kick the extra point. They probably took the time out there to check their book. They decided they wanted to go by the book and go for 2 there. And so that's what they did. And so the 2-point conversion from Petrillo to R off the Leon Lowry touchdown. So 21-6 is your score.
Back to receive for the Zebras. Number 1,
Ion Brown Miller back deep for New Brunswick, and Dylan Johnson to the near side. Brown Miller to the far side. So Aaron R. will kick it, and it's a high kick, a short one, and it'll be bobbled but caught at the 21, and he's able to get to the 30-yard line. So on the return, number 13, Ahmad Harrison on the return for New Brunswick. And so the Zebras will have it 1st and 10 with 30 seconds left in the half. Now, New Brunswick does have 2 timeouts. We'll see if they try to run something here.
First down, 10 to go. Sorry, correction. First down, 10
Ball at the 31.
Ball currently spotted around 31-yard line.
So ball at the 31-yard line. 2 receivers right. Harmon out of the shotgun. Quick throw to the right. Incomplete. Ball in and out of the hands of Tajay Moore. Crossing route there from Moore. Just couldn't hang on to it. It'll be 2nd down.
Second down.
2nd and 10 from the 31. Again, 2 receivers right for the Zebras. Out of the shotgun here is Harmon. Takes the snap, looking. He'll drop back, throws it deep ball, left side downfield, throws it over everybody, incomplete. Ion Brown Miller was the intended receiver. Double coverage there. Samir Session on the coverage, along with DeMonte Blunt. So Ion Brown Miller was well covered there. It'll be 3rd down. So 3rd and 10 now from the 31 with 21 seconds left in the half, and the Raiders with a 21-6 lead. And now New Brunswick does get the ball to start the second half. As Harmon out of the shotgun takes a snap. Here comes Wingo. Harmon avoiding him. Coming to the near side. Looking. Can't find anybody. And he'll go out of bounds at the 31. Asaru Napier, make sure that he went out. And so that'll be 4th down. Ball is at the 32. So gain of 1, 4th and 9 from the 32. And New Brunswick will punt with 12 seconds left in the half. The Raiders are out of timeouts here in the first half, so I don't think they're going to try anything necessarily. They'll probably just catch it here and go into the locker room as Harmon standing at his own 20. We'll get this away. Low snap and gets it away. Bailey back deep, but he won't touch it. It will bounce to the far side across the 35, down to the Raider 34, and that's the half. And so that will do it for the first half. So the Raiders put together a couple of scores here in the second quarter, and they lead it by a score of 21-6 at the half. And so, a couple of scores in the second quarter for the Raiders give them a 21-7 lead at the half. And so, earlier this week, as in yesterday, I had a chance to catch up with Billy Carroll, quarterback of the 2003 North Brunswick Raiders football team, to celebrate the 15th anniversary of their GMC White Division Championship back in 2003. So we had a chance to catch up with Billy Carroll and talk to him about the good old days and about what that was like in 2003, winning the GMC White Division. It was the 3rd White Division title for the Raiders that year. And so, North Brunswick, only has, I believe it only has 4 division titles in their history, 2003 being the 3rd. So, and then let's see, we'll get you an update here from Greg Tafaro real quick if we can, and then we'll get you to Billy Carroll. Let's see, an update here from the Sayreville-Edison game if we can get it. So let's see here if we can get that for you, courtesy of Greg Tafaro of the Home News Tribune. Let's see. There was no score towards the end of the first quarter, and I don't see any further updates from Greg here. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get you a further update after our spot with Billy Carroll. So, with that being said, it's homecoming night here at New Brunswick, so, you have that. So it probably will be a while before we get to the second half. But here's my conversation with, again, quarterback of the 2003 North Brunswick Raiders, Billy Carroll, under head coach Mark Zielinski. And the interesting thing with that team and that group, Billy Carroll got hurt during the first game of the season. And for the next 4 games or so, they had to go to their backup quarterback, Brian Powell. And Powell was able to carry North Brunswick through. And, now the Raiders lost their first 3 games because they had to forfeit the 3rd game. But, that kind of thing. So anyway, here's my conversation with Billy Carroll, quarterback of the 2003 North Brunswick Raiders. Joining us here on our broadcast is Billy Carroll, quarterback of the 2003 North Brunswick Raiders, who went on to win the GMC White Division and make part of Raiders history. As it was going through, when I went through the archives, it seems like it was a wild season just from reading the stories in the paper. So I can only imagine what it's like actually having to live through it. So again, Billy Carroll joins us here on the broadcast. So Mr. Carroll, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I want to start with before the season. Before the season even started, I'll go back to 2002. You guys, finished at 3-7 in 2002, but you won your last 2 games. You guys beat Heightstown pretty convincingly, 46-0, and then you beat South Brunswick in the Thanksgiving game that year. Did that give the team a different feeling going into the 03 season? Maybe saying, hey, we won our last 2 games, maybe we can put something together. Was that the feeling when you guys went into the 03 season?
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, we knew we had a ton of seniors coming for the 03 year too, so that made it a little easier. We knew what we were getting into. We knew who we had, and we knew what each other can do and do well. So we felt pretty confident going into the next season.
And then in that 03 season, you get a new head coach. Mark Zielinski comes in, and
replaces Sal Mastretta. Did you know anything about Coach Zielinski before that season?
Yeah, Coach Z was with us my entire time there. He was a O-line coach, but more than that, he was a coach with us. He was great. We missed Coach Mastretta, but we welcomed Coach Z. As another great coach we had.
And now that first game you guys played, you lost to J.P. Stevens 14-0. You got injured in that game as the quarterback, forearm injury, if I'm not mistaken. Did you think, that it was something that you were going to be able to come back from and play the very next week, or did you know that it was a lot more serious than that?
As soon as I felt my elbow pop out of socket and dislocate, I knew it was going to be a couple weeks. But I was definitely going to try to get back as soon as I could.
Yep. And, and then, of course, you guys started 0-2. You lost your second game, and then you guys were at an 0-2 start, and then you come back the third game, and you beat Colonia, 25-0, and beat them every which way. You guys outgained them. You guys really, took it to them. Let's see. Did you, and then ultimately a couple of weeks later, you found out that you guys had to forfeit that game due to an ineligible player. Did that take the steam out of things? Did that kind of suck the air out of the team a little bit, knowing that, okay, you guys finally get your first win for your new coach and everything, and it seems like you guys were getting back on track, and then boom, it gets taken away from you. Was that, more or less a blow to the midsection?
I don't think so. I mean, because I know the next two games, I don't remember which they were, Bishop or Monroe, somewhere in that order, but they were pretty much blowouts. I mean, there were 40 points on each game. I just think, thinking back on it, if you ask most of the guys that we play with, they're still something that, bothers them is that Colonia game. Because if you watch the game or you see the score or you see the box score, you know that it wasn't even close. And the player that they complained about was a good player, and he didn't even play much. I mean, he didn't do much. He was a good player for us. And, the way they went about that, do I think that's the wrong way? Absolutely. Could they have said something when they knew about this week one? Yeah, I mean, if he went out there and, and put up 5 scores or something like that and they want to complain about it, that's fine. But do I think Colonia should have won about it a different way? Absolutely.
You mentioned Bishop R and Monroe being the next two games, and you mentioned you guys dominated, those games. You guys beat Bishop R 40-0, and then beat Monroe 48-14, and then you follow that up by beating JFK 48-0. Was that a statement that you guys wanted to make, that you wanted to say, hey, we're a pretty good football team, regardless of the other player that you mentioned? Or was that a statement that you guys wanted to make?
Absolutely. I think guys were just, we're pissed off. They were angry at, at what happened, and they just wanted to prove, we're here, make a statement. I mean, you don't ever want to, embarrass anybody, but it's not something we ever try to do. But if you can make a statement while playing football the right way, I think that's what was done.
Yep. So you guys, went on to win those games, and as far as some of the guys that on defense, I know Justin Rooney was one, for example. Tell me about some of your guys on defense that helped you dominate in some of those games.
I mean, yeah, I think we had the defensive player in the county that year in Aaron Carter, who went on to play at Princeton, who was a pretty good player for us on both sides of the ball, let alone playing linebacker for us. We had players all around. Defensive line was stout. Our linebackers ran to the ball well, and our defensive backs made plays. We just try as an offense just to compliment them, and that way they give us the ball back. We want to be able to score. You don't ever want to waste an opportunity, especially from a defense like that. So we were happy to have him.
You mentioned Aaron Hicks. He ran for 200 yards in a game 3 different times that year. How much of your offense went through him?
Aaron Hicks was a special player. He was a good running back. One of the better ones I've seen since I still. Our offense was big with him. I mean, we tried to play off him with play action with whether it was bootleg or straight play action in the pocket. It was played off whether he was running a zone play or running up the middle, but I was lucky to play with him.
Again, talking with Billy Carroll of the 2003 North Brunswick Raiders, who won the GMC White Division. He was the starting quarterback. Now, which game, do you remember which game you came back? Was it the JFK game or the South Plainfield? Do you remember which game you came back from your injury?
It was South Plainfield I came back for.
Okay, so you guys won that game, 28-25. Hicks had 257 and 3 touchdowns, and so those numbers, they speak for themselves. Tell me about the offensive line that blocked for him and protected you back there. Tell me about the guys on the offensive line.
We had guys that were together for 3 years, whether it was from JV and freshman all the way up. We had a pretty good line. We had, our center Drew Moore was good. We had guards in Nick Gray, a tackle, and Alberto Rodriguez. They were all good guys. I mean, they all did their job and did it well, and that's all I can ask for as a quarterback, or all you can ask for as an offensive player is the offensive line did their job and they did it well.
Absolutely. And you end up going 5-3 in the regular season. You beat South Plainfield, you beat Carteret. So you went 5-3 in the regular season, but did not make the state playoffs that year. Do you think that forfeit to Colonia cost you guys a state playoff spot?
I think it cost us a state championship in the long run. I mean, I thought our team, we missed out on PowerPoints with the Colonia loss, a couple, if I'm right. I might be wrong, but I thought it was a couple. If we don't get that, that play by Colonia for the forfeit, I think we go on and win a state championship that year. I mean, I don't remember who won it that year, but I don't remember anybody in our conference being better than us. I thought we could have ran the table that year.
And speaking of running the table, ultimately the rest of your schedule, you did run the table. You beat Trenton in a consolation game, and then you beat South Brunswick on Thanksgiving. By the way, just as a side note, I know back then, now in recent years, the Raiders have not had much luck against South Brunswick on Thanksgiving, but back then, how much fun was it to play against them and win the way you did?
It was always a good time. I mean, it was a good rivalry we had, but it was even better beating them. I mean, I remember in our junior year, it was a 1-point game, but the next year it was pretty good. Whether it was home or away, it was always a good rivalry.
You had 138 yards passing in that game. Hicks had another 180 yards on the ground with a couple of touchdowns. You threw it past to Justin Rooney there. So, it seemed, like I said, it seemed like you guys had pretty good success against them. In terms of winning the division, you guys won the White Division at least that year. What did it mean for you guys as a football team and as a program to win the division that year?
It was everything we were working for. I mean, like I said, wish we could have had the opportunity, in the playoff, but it was a while. I think it was Coach Seipot's year. Last year they won the division and went to the playoffs. So we were just trying to catch up to those guys and get another division championship for the school. Just unfortunate that we couldn't win a state championship that year.
And now, after that, did you go on to play in college or no?
I did. I went to Delaware Valley where I played for a little bit, and ultimately left there.
Okay. Did you ever want to coach or stay involved in the game somehow or no?
I coached for a little bit. I would coach when I was a couple years ago. Schedule-wise, I would love to again, but I mean, work schedule-wise, it doesn't work out right now. But I'm hoping that Coach Seipot's still there in a couple of years, and when my work schedule changed, I can help him out somehow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he'll be there for a while. He messed with me a couple of weeks ago about him not being there, but I think based on the team's record the first couple of years, he'll still be there by the time you're ready. So, but my last question for Billy Carroll is, you played 3 years varsity or 4?
I played 2.
2, okay. So in the 2 years that you played, did you have a signature game that you felt like, you couldn't do any better? I mean, did you have one of those games or no?
I mean, I think Hightstown was my game. I think we end up. I don't remember the score. It was probably in the 40s, but it wasn't close. And I think we end up like 400 and 4 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So
yeah, sounds about right.
I'll take that any day.
Absolutely. You can't complain there. Again, Billy Carroll from the 2003 North Brunswick Raiders, the GMC White Division champions. As it was the third divisional championship in their history with the 1992 team and that 2000 team with Coach Saipot that Billy mentioned earlier. So, Mr. Carroll, thank you for some time and to relive, 2003, and congratulations 15 years later, and, best of success in whatever you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Dana and Lisa here from Our Turf Football to tell you that the Our Turf podcast is up and running.
Did you know that women make up over 45% of all NFL fans and counting? Here at Our Turf, we have our own take on what's happening around the National Football League with special features, previews, reports from our official fan reporters covering each team, and interviews with players and personalities who have the scoop on what's happening. Women are in the know when it comes to football, and it's time the rest of the world knew it too.
Our Turf Football is every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
It's once again time for this date in Raiders football history as we take a look back at North Brunswick Raiders football through the archives. On this date, October the 5th, 1979, it was North Brunswick all over St. Peter's of New Brunswick, 41-6 at Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick. John McGrath posted 3 touchdowns, while Chuck Gaspardi caught the only Raiders pass of the second half, a 42-yard touchdown reception. Defensive back Ernie Horvath also scored on a fumble recovery. In 1990, the Raiders shut out Colonia 18-0 behind 2 touchdowns from running back Gerald Ruffin, 1 on the ground and 1 in the air. Junior linebacker Don Caruso had 3 of North Brunswick's 5 sacks, and Darrell Banks came up with an interception to give the Raiders some breathing room. In 2012, North Brunswick stopped J.P. Stevens 33-21 as quarterback Tim Parson threw a couple of touchdown passes and ran for another one. Jalen Hobdy had a 53-yard interception return for a score, one of 4 interceptions by the Raiders defense. As we look back at the 15th anniversary of the North Brunswick Raiders 2003 GMC White Division Championship, in game number 6 of that season, the Raiders blasted JFK 48-0. Aaron Hicks had 184 rushing yards on the ground, crossing over the 1,000 mark for the season. Aaron Jackson got into the act with 167 yards and 3 touchdowns on only 8 carries. That is a look at this date in Raiders football history. We'll be back with more of North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
This is Christian Petrillo, and you're listening to North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
All right, we come back here to Raiders football on the King James Radio Network as we get ready for the second half. North Brunswick and New Brunswick here from Memorial Stadium, right off of Joyce Kilmer Avenue in New Brunswick. We are at halftime as the North Brunswick Raiders lead it over the New Brunswick Zebras by a score of 21-6 as we get ready for the second half. And so we'll read you some halftime numbers. Now the Raiders scoring a touchdown in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. And so North Brunswick jumping ahead. Let's see. I'll do a recap real quick here. The scoring plays. Let's see. With a minute going, not even a minute into the game, Miles Bailey, the Raiders were able to take a short field and drive on 3 plays. Miles Bailey on a 9-yard run from midfield from the 50 to the New Brunswick 41, and a Christian Petrillo pass to Brandon Outlaw from the New Brunswick 41 down to the 6, and then Miles Bailey punched it in from 6 yards out for his fifth rushing touchdown of the year, and that made it 6-0 North Brunswick. Extra point no good. And then with 9:07 left in the second quarter, Christian Petrillo would hit Tyree Geaston on a touchdown pass from 17 yards out, and again, extra point no good. That made it 12-0. Oh, check that. Extra point was good. I'm sorry. That made it 13-0. 13-0 with the extra point. And then late second quarter, as a matter of fact, last play from scrimmage for the Raiders in the half, Petrillo would hit Leon Lowry on a 16-yard touchdown strike. New Brunswick had already scored at that point, and North Brunswick went for 2. 21-6 would be your score. And so let's see, the lone score for New Brunswick here, if we can get it, and then we'll get you some halftime stats. The lone score for New Brunswick, Dave Hicks, a 3-yard touchdown run, and that was, I believe that was in the first quarter. First half, definitely, but Dave Hicks with a 3-yard touchdown run. I should have wrote down the time, but extra point no good. 21-6 is your score. Christian Petrillo for the Raiders, 6 of 10, 72 yards with a touchdown pass, 9 carries for -5 yards. He's been sacked a couple of times on consecutive plays, no less. Miles Bailey, 9 carries for 62 yards with a touchdown, 2 receptions for 1. Chris Arnold, 3 carries, 24 yards. Brandon Outlaw, 2 carries for 5 yards. He does have 1 reception for the 35 yards. Manny Herrera, 1 reception, 1 yard. Tyree Geaston, 1 catch for 17 yards with a TD. Leon Lowry, 1 catch for 16 yards with the TD. As Aaron R. will kick this off to start the second half. It's a short kick to about the 38 and caught there. For New Brunswick, Nadir Harmon, he's thrown 5 passes but has not completed 1 yet. Has 1 interception, 5 carries for 23 yards for Harmon. Dave Hicks, 6 carries, 44 yards with a touchdown. And Dylan Johnson, 8 carries for 24 with the touchdown. So the Zebras will have it first down and 10 here from their own 38 as we start the second half. So New Brunswick in their whites going from left to right. So, and we get a flag here before the snap. Flag before the snap here. So let's see what this is. Referees talking it over. They have not made an official signal yet. And so it's against, I would think it's a motion penalty of offside of some sort or neutral zone infraction against New Brunswick. All right, so that'll bring it to 1st and 15 from the 33. Out of the gun, Harmon takes the snap, pulls it down, hands off to Miller, trying to run right to the near side, crosses the 35, trying to spin out of a tackle. The 36, ball loose, fumble, still loose, ball going backwards, and still loose. New Brunswick has it. Both teams tried to pick it up, but finally falling on it for New Brunswick. Finally falling on it for New Brunswick is Josh Rodriguez, number 57. And so ball will be back at the 37-yard line. So out of the snap, Harmon drops back, looking, throws it, deep ball, right side, and incomplete. Pass was intended for Tajay Moore. And Brandon Outlaw on the coverage. So that was on 2nd and 11. And so it'll be 3rd down. 3rd and 11 from the 37 with 11:06 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Again, 21-6 is your score. Raiders leading by 2 scores. So 3rd down. 3rd and 11 here from the 37. Out of the shotgun, Harmon takes the snap, drops back, dumps it off, and tackled immediately. Dylan Johnson on the catch, and Sean Brahimi on the tackle. So the pass to Johnson, and so that will bring up 4th down. And so we got 4th. Ball is at the 35. So loss of 2, 4th and 13 from the 35. Harmon will punt. He's at his own 21. Back deep for the Raiders as Miles Bailey is at his own 31. High kick. We'll see if Bailey catches it. Nope, he'll let it bounce and thought about picking it up. Now does it to 39, gets to the 42 and is tackled there. And so on the tackle is Jaden Mahan on the tackle for New Brunswick. So 1st and 10. 1st and 10, North Brunswick from the 42, looks like
10 yards to go for the Raiders.
Let's see where we are. First and 10 from the 42-yard line, it looks like.
All right, here we go.
So first and 10 from the 42.
Right.
With 10:17 to go in the third. Raiders lead at 21-6. Split backfield for the Raiders. Petrillo out of the shotgun. Bailey to the left, Arnold to the right. And now Chich will go to the sideline. Two receivers right. And get his play from offensive coordinator Pushawn Brown. Petrillo looking at his wristband.
Come on, guys.
And now he'll take the snap out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff, tries to go off tackle right, crosses the 45, spinning, 48, and tackled at about the 49. Might have been tackled by one of his linemen, Angel Gonzalez. Quentin Tibbs on the stop for New Brunswick. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 49. 9:57 to go in the third. And again, the Raiders looking for their 4th straight win. We'll try to get you an update from Edison on the Edison-Sayreville game if we can. Split backfield, Petrillo out of the gun, and hands off to Bailey, off tackle, right crosses midfield. Still going right side, New Brunswick 40, inside the 35. Miles Bailey off to the right side. Dylan Johnson on the tackle for New Brunswick. So that'll be a Raider first down. Ball is at the New Brunswick 35-yard line. With 9:26 to go in the third. 21-6. Raiders lead it. Two receivers left. Petrillo out of the gun. Takes the snap. He'll step up in the pocket. Scrambling to the near side. Looking. He'll run 40, 35, 30. Flag down maybe. 35. And tackled near the 30. And it is a flag down. It's going to come back. Holding on the Raiders. So the Petrillo run will come back. It's hard to see those flags out there. Mike Pavlichko at WCTC looking for one, but there was one. So it'll come back. I see the flag there. They're picking it up now. But let's see where the ball is. They're going to bring the ball back across the 40 here. It is holding against the Raiders. 45. Back to the 47. So first and 22 then. It'll be at the New Brunswick 47-yard line with 9:11 to go in the third. Again, Raiders lead 21-6. So Tyree Geeston wide to the left, two receivers right, Bailey slot left. Petrillo out of the gun, takes the snap and goes up the middle, maybe a yard if that, before the New Brunswick line gets to him. Tackle made by Keyshawn Davila or Quentin Tibbs. So ball stays at the New Brunswick 47, so no gain. 2nd and 22 from the 47 with 8:26 to go in the third. Geeston again wide to the left. Three receivers bunched right. Petrillo out of the gun. Bailey to his right, takes a high snap, pitches to Bailey, going right, 50, 45, 40, through a hole, 35, 30, spins, inside the 30, down to about the 25. So Bailey with some footwork. Looked like Keyshawn Davila again, number 54, on the tackle. And another big run for Bailey. So it looks like the ball is at the 26-yard line. Gain of 21. First down and 10. So first and 10. So Bailey closing in on 90 yards. First and 10. Petrillo in a house formation. Out of the gun. Hands off to Bailey. Breaks out of the tackle. Going right. 20, 15, 10. Far sideline. Does he get in the pylon? Yes, he does. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders. A combination of speed and power from Miles Bailey. Page 6 of the bailout plan. And the Raiders lead it 27-6.
Listen, remember. Okay, so it's heavy, but they didn't have to. Listen,
Bailey broke some tackles and used his speed to get to the outside and able to get in the pylon, inside the pylon there. And again, rushing touchdown number 6 for Bailey. And Bailey quickly closing in on 100 yards for the night. Oh, North Brunswick called for unsportsmanlike conduct, apparently. And so maybe a celebration afterwards.
The penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
So if you hear that, it'll be assessed on the kickoff. So Aaron R. will then kick the extra point here. So, Nate Harris in his first year as a head coach with New Brunswick, just trying to work out the kinks. Aaron R. to kick the extra point. Christian Petrillo to hold. High snap. Petrillo gets it down. R's kick is up, and it is good. So, with 7:46 remaining in the third quarter, the Raiders lead it by a score of 28-6. We'll take ourselves a break, and we'll come back in just a moment with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network.
This week at Restoration Place, The Struggle Within, from Pastor John Bazemore Jr.
We are challenged with the things that people don't see. We are challenged with the experiences that we're having on the inside. There may be many things that you are dealing with, but I promise you, a lot of those things, they're so personal, and you can say amen if you agree with this, but they're so personal, you're not willing to share them with everybody. Some of them are so personal, you don't want to share them with anybody.
Restoration Place, on demand on the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com.
We get an update for you from Edison, the Edison-Sayreville game, courtesy of Greg Tafaro with the Home News Tribune. Sayreville leading Edison 7-6 in the third quarter of that game. And so, again, if Sayreville hangs on to win that game, they will win the GMC White Division. If Edison wins and the Raiders win here, it's a three-way tie. Meanwhile, Aaron R. line drive kick. It'll be a squib. Picked up at the 30-yard line. Picked up by Ion Brown Miller to the 40. Comes to the outside, near side 50. And he's got room 40 and is tackled along the sideline at the 35. Samir Session and Chris Arnold on the tackle. So a good return for Ion Brown Miller for New Brunswick. Miller also a member of the New Brunswick basketball team. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Zebras on the North Brunswick 36-yard line. This is how New Brunswick got their first score of the night. They had excellent field position. They started at the North Brunswick 20-yard line and was able to put it in from there. So New Brunswick again getting a short field to work with here, and they're down 3 scores. So they need something to happen. First and 10 from the 36. Split backfield. Harmon out of the shotgun. Man in motion to the far side. Takes the snap. Will pitch it to Dylan Johnson. Skips the 40. Goes to the outside. And 35 before Sean Brahini, among others, drag him down. So that will bring up second down and long. Let's see where the ball is. The other man in motion was Jaden Mahan for New Brunswick. Or the other man in the backfield, was Jaden Mahan. Ball at the 35. So gain of 1, second and 9 from the 35. Again, split backfield. Mahan to the right. Nadir Harmon out of the shotgun. Quick throw, right side, deep ball, and it is caught. No, incomplete. It looked like he had it. Brandon Outlaw on the coverage. I thought he caught it. Pass was intended for New Brunswick and Tajay Moore. Outlaw on the coverage. I thought he caught it. It'll be third down. So third down and 9 from the 35-yard line of New Brunswick with 6:49 remaining in the third quarter here at Memorial Stadium. 4 receivers, 2 to each side, 1 in the backfield for Harmon. Man to his right. Harmon looking towards the sideline. Dylan Johnson to the left. Actually, it's trips left for New Brunswick. Out of the gun, Harmon takes the snap, drops back, looks, gets out of the pocket, looking, throws the ball deep downfield right side, has a man open, and caught! Touchdown, New Brunswick! Had a man wide open there, and that is Dave Hicks with the touchdown catch. Outlaw was the closest one there, but it went over him and it went to Hicks. A 25-yard touchdown pass from Nadir Harmon to Dave Hicks. And now, wait a minute. Flag down, so it's going to come back. Looks like a holding call against New Brunswick, so it'll come back. And so scratch the touchdown to Hicks. And New Brunswick will be back to square one. 15 yards on the penalty. 3rd and 24 now from midfield. Out of the gun, Harmon dumps it off in the flat. And that is Hicks to the near side. And he is wrapped up by Tyro Pereira at the 41. So they were able to get it to Hicks again. But this time for a much shorter gain. Tyro Pereira making the tackle. Ball at the Raider 41. It'll be 4th down. And New Brunswick will be forced to punt on 4th and 15. And so Harmon will punt. He stands at his own 39. Miles Bailey back deep for the Raiders. He's at his own 9-yard line. There's the snap, and he's going to run. 50, Harmon running, 45, 40. Can he get a first down? No, he doesn't. He is tackled at the Raider 38. Sean Brahini able to get there. So New Brunswick went for the fake punt there on 4th down, but did not get a first. So a net gain of about 2 on that. The coaches are agreeing with me. And so the Raiders will get it on downs. So 1st and 10 for North Brunswick from their own 38-yard line. And so this is a chance for the Raiders here to try to put the game away here. 28-6 Raiders, 5:49 to go in the 3rd. And this is where if you're North Brunswick, you really want to go for the jugular here. You score one more time and you've got a stronghold on this game. Tyree Geaston wide to the left. 2 receivers right. Petrillo out of the shotgun with Bailey to his left. Brahini slot left. Hands off to Bailey. Going right. 40, 45, 50. Through a hole. 45, 40. Back inside right hash. Dragging men across the 30. Down to the 26. Miles Bailey. Another combination of speed and power from Bailey. Speed in the beginning and power at the end. Ball down at the New Brunswick 26-yard line. Looks like we've got an injured man down for the Raiders. Athletic trainer Jackie Morrison out there. I don't know. That might be Bailey. I don't know. So let's check the injury. Could very well be Bailey. Because Bailey's suffering that injury last week with the shin bruise, but could be just a cramp this time. But again, another nifty run from Bailey. We believe that it is Miles Bailey down on the turf here. I'm waiting for the referee. Of course, he stands right in my sight line, so I can't see. Yeah, it looks like that is Bailey. Yep. So, yep, that is Miles Bailey down there. And so, athletic trainer for North Brunswick, Jackie Morrison, checking in on him, trying to stretch out that leg. And he'll get up and walk off here. Will Bailey on his own power. But in the meantime, a 36-yard run for Bailey down to the New Brunswick 26. where the Raiders will have it 1st and 10 with 5:38 left in the third quarter. North Brunswick 28, New Brunswick 6. So again, the Raiders trying to, and Bailey's well over the 100-yard mark for this game with a touchdown, 2 touchdowns to boot. 2 receivers left. Chris Arnold will be to the left of Petrillo. Again, 2 receivers right as well. So 2 to each side. Brahini in motion to the far side. And we get a whistle, flag down.
Penalty mark on the play will be full start against North Brunswick.
False start, illegal motion, illegal procedure, whatever you want to call it, against the Raiders.
First down, 15 yards.
So ball at the 31. So 1st and 15. If I'm correct, I believe this is the Raiders' 3rd penalty of the night, if I'm not mistaken. 1st and 10 from the 31. Petrillo with Arnold to the left and Outlaw to the right takes the snap and hands off to Arnold. Tries to go right inside the 30, inside the numbers. And ball loose, fumble. Raiders fall on it. The Raiders fall on it. Tyrell Pereira falling on that one to save it for North Brunswick. So ball is at the 28. So despite the fumble, gain of 3, 2nd and 12 from the 28 with 4:36 to go in the third. And again, Raiders lead it 28-6. Petrillo out of the gun. Bailey back in the game to his right, takes the snap, drops back, scrambling, rolling left, looking. Chidge will run. 30, 25, tackled back at the 22. On the tackle for New Brunswick, Keyshawn Davila. So that'll bring up 3rd down.
54, Keyshawn Davila with a defensive stop that time for the Zebras.
See where they spot this. Looks like they will spot it at the 23. It looks like they'll spot it.
7 yards ago.
So 3rd and 7 at the 23. 3:46 to go in the third. Raiders up big. Bailey to the right of Petrillo. 2 receivers right. Outlaw in motion to the far side. Out of the gun. Petrillo rolling right. Throws it right. Too high. Intended for Outlaw. Incomplete. Chitch scrambling to his right. Tried to throw that against his body as a left-handed thrower and threw it over the head of Outlaw. Very difficult to throw against your body like that. And so it'll be 4th down. We'll see what the Raiders do here. Looks like they're going to go for it. Petrillo's out there on the field. So 4th and 7 from the 23. Petrillo with Bailey to his left. Out of the gun, takes the snap, and he'll go ahead and hand off to Bailey. Bailey wants to throw it right side, and incomplete. Bailey threw it intended for Outlaw. Oh, interception. They're going to call it an interception. Nadir Harmon making a diving catch. Harmon with the pick. So the interception. I believe it was Nadir Harmon that caught the interception. Harmon was covering Outlaw there. And so the Raiders turn it over. Either way, the Raiders were going to turn it over. It was 4th down. So New Brunswick ball. Ball is at looks like the 8-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 8. Harmon out of the shotgun here. And Miller in motion takes the snap, rolling right. Looking, he'll throw it over to the right side. Bobbled by Miller, incomplete. Brandon Outlaw on the coverage. Right off the hands of Ion Brown Miller. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 10 for New Brunswick, trailing 28-6 with 3:24 remaining in the third. We'll see if I can find an update for you from the Edison-Sayreville game. Nothing yet. So second down from the 8-yard line, 2nd and 10. Harmon out of the shotgun, takes the snap, and he'll keep it himself. Running right, trying to get around Brahini, throws it right for Miller. 5, 10, stiff arms a man. Out of bounds. So the catch from Miller looks like they'll spot it. Looks like they'll spot it at the 12. And then apparently a flag at the end. So let's see what we got here. It's an ineligible man downfield against New Brunswick.
Find out who it is.
And so it'll replay second down. So they'll replay second down here, it looks like, unless they decline it. No, it's still second down. Where's the ball? Ball is at... Oh, they're going to pick up the flag. They're going to pick up the flag. So they picked up the flag here. No penalty. So then it's a completed pass then. And the ball will be at the 17-yard line. 3rd and 1. So it'll be 3rd and 1. Harmon will work out of the shotgun here. Man in motion is Miller, takes the snap. He'll go up the middle, has a first down, and Brahini tackles him at the 25. And so it'll be indeed a first down. And so 1st and 10 from the 25. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. 28-6 is your score. Dylan Johnson this time to the right of Nadir Harmon. Harmon will work out of the gun. Harmon claps his hands, takes the snap, looking left. He'll throw it left and completes it to Miller at the 29, spins around and is tackled at the 28. Some pushing and shoving at the end of the play. There was some pushing and shoving at the end, which drew the flag. And so, completed pass to Miller, but we'll see what the penalty is. So things getting a little heated here. Let's see what the penalty is. Nate Harris out there wanting to know. Personal foul against New Brunswick. So personal foul called against New Brunswick after the play. And so and what do we got? New Brunswick, they're not lined up in an offensive set. They're kind of spread out all over the field. This one's going to come all the way back. Let's see. Probably a foul after the play here. It's all the way back to the New Brunswick 14-yard line. So, ball is at the 14-yard line. So it's all the way back there. So it will be second down, so it's after the play, so a loss of down. Harmon takes the snap out of the gun. He's trying to chuck it, throws it right, and incomplete. Intended for Tajay Moore. Nobody really there on the coverage. And so it'll be third down. 3rd and 21 now from the 14-yard line. New Brunswick has to get to their own 35-yard line for a first down. 2:09 to go in the third. North Brunswick 28, New Brunswick 6. New Brunswick not that far removed from their last winning season. New Brunswick's last winning season was 2015 when they were 9-2 under head coach Don Sulfakanik. Harmon out of the gun here on third and very long. Drops back, throws it right side looking, and it's going to be Outlaw. Did he catch it? And no, incomplete. That pass was underthrown. Outlaw went for the pick but didn't catch it. It'll be fourth down. So 4th and 21, which will force New Brunswick to punt. Harmon will punt. Tyree Geeston back deep for the Raiders from the 48. So Geeston back deep.
Oh my gosh. It's a big play. It's a good call. Tyree Geeston back at the 50.
So Harmon standing at his own 1 yard line. Low snap, bounce to him. He's going to run. Let's see if he tries to kick it. He does. Gets it away. And it'll take a New Brunswick bounce across midfield and get down to the Raider 45. So the Raiders will have 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. 1:48 to go in the third quarter.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Raiders.
So we'll see again if the Raiders can continue to put a stronghold on the game, and we'll see if they get any help from Edison here. Let's see if we have an update. Fourth quarter, Sayreville leads 7-6 over Edison going into the fourth quarter over at the Eagles Nest. 1st and 10 Raiders from their own 45. Petrillo out of the gun will pitch it to Bailey. Going right, 45, 50. Bowls over a man, and he is down at the New Brunswick 47. So looks like a gain of 8 right there for Bailey. So gain of 8. And we get a whistle here. So they'll spot it at the New Brunswick 47. Minute 21 to go in the third. So the Raiders will come back out here on offense. And now 3 receivers bunch left. Arnold to the left of Petrillo. Chich out of the gun, takes the snap, rolling left. He'll run. 50, 45, cuts it back in. 40, breaks a tackle, 35, and is tackled inside the 35-yard line, down at about the 34. Nadir Harmon on the stop. And another big run for Chich. And so now that is a Raider first down. Ball at the New Brunswick 34, so a gain of 13. 1st and 10. Arnold to the left of Petrillo. Sean Brahini lined up as the slot left. Brahini in motion to the far side. Chich takes the snap and hands off to Arnold. Off tackle right, breaks a tackle at the 30 and gets about the 27. So junior running back Chris Arnold. Ball is at the 27, it looks like. So the combination of Bailey and Arnold along with Petrillo, the PBA, getting things done. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 27. 5 seconds left in the third. The Raiders will just let the clock run out and end the third quarter. So the teams will switch sides. The Raiders will go from left to right. We have played 3 here at Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick. North Brunswick 28, New Brunswick 6. We will take a break and come back with the fourth quarter in just a moment. You're listening to North Brunswick Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. As we start the fourth quarter, Raiders lead at 28-6. And so North Brunswick 12 minutes away from their 4th straight win and improving to 5-1 on the year. And if you didn't catch our last update from Edison, Sayreville leading Edison 7-6 in the fourth quarter is the last update we have. We'll try to keep you posted. So it is 2nd and 3, North Brunswick from the New Brunswick 27. Christian Petrillo split backfield out of the gun. Brandon Outlaw in motion to the near side. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, going around the edge, going left. 25, 20, tackled inside the 20, down at about the 18. Looks like Keyshawn Davila on the tackle. Do we get a flag? And it looks like we might have a flag here. And so let's see. Looks like this one's going to come back. The referee's discussing. There is a flag down. Yep, it'll come back. So block in the back against North Brunswick. And I believe that is North Brunswick's fourth or fifth penalty tonight. I haven't kept close track of it. But it'll come back to the 34-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Outlaw slot right, split backfield. And out of the shotgun, takes the snap to Stitch, hands off to DeMonte Blunt, and crosses the 30, near side, 25, 20, and near the sideline, out of bounds, near the 15. Harmon, Johnson, a couple of guys on the stop for New Brunswick. And DeMonte Blunt on the carry. And that will be a North Brunswick first down. So they move the chains, 1st and 10. North Brunswick at the New Brunswick 15-yard line.
Did you tell him he's got to rush outside?
And so DeMonte Blunt with a 19-yard gain, 1st and 10 at the 19-yard lines. And again, the Raiders can put it away right here. House formation around Petrillo. Takes the snap and hands off. This is Blunt and breaks one tackle, crosses the 15 down to about the 13. So DeMonte Blunt once again on the carry. Gets it down to about the 13. 2nd and 8 from the 13-yard line. Miles Bailey on the sideline for the Raiders. So right now it's Brandon Outlaw, DeMonte Blunt, and Chris Arnold in the backfield in a house formation around Petrillo. 2nd and 8 from the 13. Petrillo takes the snap, pitches to Blunt. Blunt looking to go left, looking for a hole. 15 gets to about maybe the 12. So maybe a yard for Blunt. Ion Brown Miller there on the tackle for New Brunswick. So DeMonte Blunt now getting the bulk of the work. Gain of 1.
1 yard gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7 from the New Brunswick 12-yard line.
He said it, I don't have to. 3rd and 7 from the 12. 10:09 to go here in the 4th. 28-6 Raiders. Outlaw to the right of Petrillo. Out of the shotgun, takes the snap, pitches to Outlaw. Outlaw back up the middle, inside the 10, spinning his way, and he'll be stopped at about the 9. And so Brandon Outlaw gets a short gain, not enough for a first down.
Watch the ball now. Watch the ball.
Ball spotted at the 8.
Watch the ball here.
So 4th and 3.
3 yards to go from the New Brunswick 8-yard.
4th and 3 from the 8. The Raiders will have a decision to make. Miles Bailey comes back in along with Christian Petrillo. So Bailey back in the game. The Raiders will go for it on 4th and 3.
Bunch again. Bunch again. Bunch again.
Three receivers bunched left. 4th down. 4th and 3 from the 8. Petrillo takes the snap, tosses it to Bailey. Bailey skips his way to the 5. First down, breaks a tackle, stretches his arm out over the goal line, but did not get it. Did not get it. Down to the 1. So Bailey with a 7-yard run on 4th and 3 from the 8. Down to the 1.
First down, goal to go from the 1-yard line.
The New Jersey Transit train passing by on the other side of the field here on Jersey Avenue here in New Brunswick. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 1 for North Brunswick on the New Brunswick 1-yard line. 8:37 to go in the 4th. North Brunswick 28, New Brunswick 6. North Brunswick scoring 25 points or more for the 4th straight game. And we get a whistle. Timeout, North Brunswick. So the Raiders call time. with 8:29 remaining in the fourth. And the Raiders lead it 28-6. We will break and come back with Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. Haven't heard anything else from Greg Tafaro over at Edison with the Edison-Sayreville game. Last we heard, Sayreville 7, Edison 6 in the fourth quarter. That's the last we heard. But the Raiders, with a first and goal on the New Brunswick 1-yard line, with 8:29 to go in the fourth quarter. North Brunswick 28, New Brunswick 6. Christian Petrillo, actually a high snap over Outlaw, and Bailey falls on it. Outlaw was going to take the snap, it looked like. Bailey falls on it. Back at the 13. I'm not sure if that was just a change of pace or what. But I'm surprised that Chich wasn't in there. They'll put it at the 10. Second and goal from the 10. And so taking the snap is Outlaw. He'll go ahead and hand off to Miles Bailey, but Bailey gets nowhere. He's met by 3 guys.
Third and goal.
And so now no Christian Petrillo at the moment, which is a cause for concern. And Petrillo might have got hurt on that tackle earlier in the half. And so third and goal from the 11. So Outlaw in a house formation takes the snap. Outlaw going left, and Outlaw crosses the goal line. Touchdown, North Brunswick Raiders on the left side for Brandon Outlaw. 34-6 Raiders. So the touchdown run for Outlaw.
Number 5 was the QB in that.
So a 10-yard run for Outlaw.
46-6, the final. The Piscataway, number 1 team in our
And Aaron R. will kick the extra point here.
So that was a cutoff game at 35. 40-point win, and I believe the largest margin victory.
No, actually they're going to go for 2. So they'll go for 2. Throw end zone right side in the back of the end zone. Intended for Aaron R., but incomplete. So 2-point conversion, no good. So the Raiders lead it 34-6 with 7:11 left in the fourth. We'll break. We'll come back on the King James Radio Network. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Brandon Outlaw from 11 yards out makes it a 34-6 Raiders lead. Aaron R. will kick. And a short kick caught at the 30-yard line and tackled at the 31 by Asaru Napier. Amon Harrison on the return for New Brunswick. And we'll see, do we have an injury? And yes, we do. It looks like G.D. Macelis is down for the Raiders. So G.D. Macelis, the injured player, with 7:06 remaining in the fourth. G.D. just got back into the lineup after being hurt. So G.D. Macelis, the injured player. That's G.D. Macelis for the CTC guys over there. But Macelis will come off. And so G.D. will jog off on his own accord. So New Brunswick will have it 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
10 yards to go for the Zebras. Ball currently spotted around 32-yard line.
They both sucked
So
inside.
New Brunswick, you know, New Brunswick, of course, has a long history. And yeah, they do have one, you know, they have the one winning record in this decade, which was 2015. So they've fallen on some hard times as of late. So Harmon, Nadir Harmon out of the shotgun with Ion Brown Miller behind him. They'll pitch it to Miller, 25, and outside the hash, 30, far side. Brahini forces him out at the 35. So Ion Brown Miller on the carry. Ball will be spotted, looks like at the 35. So gain of 3 for Miller, 2nd and 7 from the 35-yard line. 6:59 to go in the fourth. And again, the Raiders with a commanding 34-6 lead. So the Raiders well on their way to their 4th straight win. 2 receivers left. Split backfield here. Harmon out of the gun. Man in motion to the near side. They'll pitch it to Miller. Miller comes to the near side. 30. No, check that. That's Johnson. And slipped one tackle, but runs smack into Samad Wingo at the 35. Dylan Johnson on the carry. And so ball will be at the 35. No gain. 3rd and 7 with 6.5 to go. Looks like we have an update from Greg Tafaro here, so we'll check that out after the next play. 3rd down and 7 from the 35. Harmon out of the shotgun, drops back, and scrambles right, looking, and throws it away in desperation, incomplete. Samad Wingo was right on his case. And so 4th down. 4th and 7. Still 7-6 Sayreville with 4:09 remaining in the 4th quarter over in Edison. So Harmon will punt, so 4 minutes left in that game. And thus the Raiders' division title hopes hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Harmon is back to punt here for New Brunswick. Geeston back deep for the Raiders at his own 41. Harmon gets this away. It'll take a zebra bounce. Geeston gets away. And down to the 35. So 1st and 10. North Brunswick at the New Brunswick 35-yard line with 5:23 to go. And again, the Raiders basically just trying to run the clock out here. So Raider ball, 1st and 10 from the 35. Again, the Raiders lead the all-time series against New Brunswick 14-7. They have won the last 2 meetings. They have never won more than 3 in a row against the Zebras. New Brunswick last beat North Brunswick in 2009. So 1st down and 10 from the 35. Petrillo out of the shotgun and hands off, and DeMonte Blunt breaks one tackle and knocks over a man at the 40. Or was that Outlaw? No, that was Outlaw in there. So that means Petrillo is probably out. I think Chich got injured when he was tackled hard. I think he might have injured his shoulder. He was tackled hard on the turf earlier in the second half on a play. Personal foul call against New Brunswick here as the ball was at the Raider 44-yard line. So we'll call it a gain of 9 on the run and then tack on 15 after the run.
What number, Coach? That's funny because I texted him today knowing there was no backup on his.
And so it's at the New Brunswick 42. So it'll be 1st and 10 North Brunswick from the New Brunswick 42. And so new quarterback in for the Raiders. And handoff, nope, they'll keep it. And I believe going right, and 45-30, gone. 20, 10, 5, touchdown North Brunswick Raiders. And that's not Outlaw. Who is that? That is number 6. Hold on a second. That's number 6. Michael Berardi is the backup quarterback. Berardi gets his first varsity touchdown from 42 yards out. Michael Berardi. Berardi runs it from 42 yards out. Berardi is a junior, listed at 5'9", 160. And Berardi will try to score the 2-point conversion. Breaks one tackle, trying to get out of another there, and cannot. So Mike Berardi gets his first varsity touchdown for the Raiders down the right side. A 42-yarder, 2-point conversion, no good. And so, with 4:33 remaining in the fourth, North Brunswick now leads at 40-6. We'll keep it here. Since it's a 34-point difference, no running clock. If the Raiders had converted on that, you would have a running clock for the rest of the game potentially. But the Raiders having their way here in the second half. And so probably a combination of injury to Christian Petrillo and with the point margin, no need to put Chich back in there to risk any further damage. I think he injured his left shoulder when he got tackled hard earlier in the second half. But Aaron R. will kick things off here for the Raiders. And it goes from left to right and sails over the head of Ion Brown Miller into the end zone. And that'll be a touchback. So 1st and 10, New Brunswick. It'll be 1st and 10 Zebras from the 20-yard line. And so as the coaches come down, Nick Sipot here. Let's see if we can get an injury update on Chich. The shoulder? All right. We don't know yet. He landed hard on that shoulder, I know, earlier in the... Edison's up? They're up, though. Edison's up. Okay. So 1st and 10. So we get a scoring update from Nick Sipot as breaking a tackle and coming to the near side after the 20. And that is Johnson, 50. 40, Johnson back inside, 30, breaks another tackle, and inside the 30. Big run for Dylan Johnson. So Johnson gets it all the way down to the North Brunswick 22. So scoring update from Coach Nick Sipot there. Edison has taken the lead in that game. So 1st and 10 from the 22. Let's see if we can get an update from Greg Taparo. Oh, and a personal foul penalty on the Raiders at the end. That would probably be half the distance to the goal, I would think. Let's see. They're going to move it. So count the run for Johnson. Ball is, half the distance to the goal at the 11. So that is a 58-yard run for Dylan Johnson. Let's see what the update is from Sayre from the Edison game. Nick Sipot said that Edison was up. So out of the shotgun and handoff. This is Hicks. Hicks inside the 10. And with another flag at the end. Now things are starting to get a little ugly as there's a flag at the end. So let's see what the flag is. As now things are starting to get a little intense. Unsportsmanlike against the Raiders. Another unsportsmanlike conduct, and Mike Sipot's not going to like that. So that'll probably be half the distance. Mike Sipot pacing the sidelines. He's beside himself. And with good reason.
First down, 5 yards to go from the Raiders' 6-yard line.
So 1st down and 5 from the 6, which means New Brunswick can still get a first down. So Harmon out of the shotgun, takes the snap, quick throw right on a crossing route, touchdown New Brunswick. Or maybe, yep. Tajay Moore on the catch. Touchdown Zebras. And so New Brunswick back on the board with 3:32 remaining. So a 6-yard pass from Nadir Harmon to Tajay Moore makes it 40-12. New Brunswick will go for 2.
Oh, stop!
So
stop.
Harmon.
Ion, what are you doing? Where is Ion?
Going in motion is Johnson to the far side, out of the shotgun. Pump fakes. Harmon rolling right, throws it, and underthrows it to Johnson. Johnson was wide open, and he underthrew it. And so 2-point conversion, no good. 3:32 remaining in the 4th quarter. North Brunswick 40, New Brunswick 12. We'll break, and we'll come back on the King James Radio Network. So with 3 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter, and North Brunswick having a 40-12 lead over New Brunswick, I would imagine that you have seen the last of the first unit tonight. You've probably seen the last of the first unit tonight. We'll see if Barati stays in the game. Probably. So Barati becomes the second backup quarterback for the Raiders this year to score on a long touchdown run. Jaden Myers did it a couple of weeks ago. And so 3 men back deep. Geeston is on the near side. It looks like an onside kick to the 50, but the Raiders will have it. Is that Mike Gonzalez? Mike Gonzalez. All right, so the Raiders will have it. 1st and 10. Where's the ball? At midfield. So 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. So if I get any updates on the Edison game, I will pass them along. So 1st and 10 from midfield. I believe Barati is still in at quarterback. Takes the snap, will pitch it to the near side here, and trying to juke his way across the line of scrimmage. No gain here, I don't think. That's Jaden Myers, I believe. Or is that Berberina? Let me see.
2nd down, 12 yards to go from the Raider 48-yard line.
No, that's Jaden Myers. That is Jaden Myers over there, the freshman. So 2nd and 12 from the 48. Barati out of the shotgun here. So they'll wait here. Take some time. Barati out of the gun. Myers to his right. Takes the snap and pulls it down. Fakes to Myers, running right, and he's going to be tackled. Tackled big time in the backfield. And so Keyshawn Davila on the stop.
Tackled by number 54, Keyshawn Davila for the Zebras.
And so
4-yard loss on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
the Raiders will improve to 5-1. And so ball at the 44. And so 3rd down and 16. 3rd and 16 from the 44. 2 minutes to go in the 4th. Barati out of the shotgun. And takes the snap. Quick throw to the left. Completes it to Myers at the 40. Trying to spin his way. Gets to about the 43. So Jaden Myers on the reception. So that'll bring up 4th down. Ball is at the 45, it looks like, so a gain of 1. 4th and 15 from the 45-yard line. I mean, if you're the Raiders, I'd probably punt here. You're up 40-12. I'd probably punt here. So what if they get the ball back? They're going to let the clock run down here. Maybe they'll let it run down and then take a timeout and then punt. I don't know. Raiders not really doing anything on offense right now, so it looks like, yep, that's what they will do. They will run the clock down, call the timeout, and then R&R will punt with 1:02 remaining in the fourth. So the Raiders will improve to 5-1 on the season. New Brunswick will drop to 1-4. And the Raiders will look ahead to their GMC Red Division or crossover matchups that they will have against Perth Amboy, or check that, Carteret next week, and then Perth Amboy and East Brunswick after that.
I actually expected a worse answer from him.
So Carteret out of the GMC Blue. Let's see if Greg Tafaro has an update for us here.
7, 8.
Oh, jeez. I got to look and see now how the game ended. Looks like Sayreville had the ball. Edison had the lead. Sayreville had the ball. Greg knows how to leave people hanging. I will say that. But R&R will punt. Line drive kick. And goes out of bounds, it looks like. And so it looks like Sayreville, from what I can see in Greg Tafaro's video, it looks like Sayreville won the game. It looks like Sayreville won the game on the final play, or close to it. A lot of Edison players dejected on the field. So it looks like Sayreville won that game somehow, which means that they would win the GMC White Division title. So from the looks of things, it looks like Sayreville has won that game. 1st and 10, New Brunswick from their own 37-yard line. So empty backfield. Harmon will throw it left to Johnson. Johnson gets a block and crosses the 40 and to the 45. Tackled there. So Dylan Johnson. So 2nd down and 1 at the 46. And so hurry up offense here. Miller in motion to the far side. And Harmon takes the snap, dropping or rolling right, looking, and towards the sideline and out of bounds. Out of bounds at the 45. So that's going to be a loss of 1. So at bare minimum, at least, he stops the clock. So meanwhile, on that previous tackle for North Brunswick was number 29, Jeremiah Brema. So it will be 3rd down. And out of the gun, Harmon takes the snap and avoids one tackle. He'll run going left and breaks another tackle at the 45, 50, and out of bounds at the North Brunswick 46. That'll be a New Brunswick first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 New Brunswick with 8 seconds left. Ball at the 46, the 46, the North Brunswick 46. Final play perhaps. Brown Miller in motion, and now Harmon rolling right, throws it and completes it to Miller. He's tackled at the 37, but that's it. The clock runs to 0, and this game is over. And the North Brunswick Raiders win their 4th straight game as they defeat the New Brunswick Zebras by a score of 40-12 here at Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick. No, I don't. I just saw on the video, it looked like Sayreville won, but I don't know the final score. So we thank you guys for listening to the King James Radio Network tonight. And again, 40-12 is your final. The Raiders win. And again, their fourth straight win. They improved to 5-1. New Brunswick drops to 1-4, and so the Raiders will look ahead next week to Hales family. What would North Brunswick be without the Hales family? But North Brunswick will look ahead to next Friday night when they will head to Carteret to take on the Ramblers. Unfortunately for the Raiders, from the looks of things, it looks like they will not win the GMC White Division title as Sayreville pulls off a last-second victory against Edison. And so the Raiders will now try to look ahead towards the end of the regular season and the state playoffs. But again, they've won their fourth straight, 40-12 over New Brunswick. And, another big night for Miles Bailey. Another good game for Chris Arnold. Christian Petrillo, probably got injured there in the second half. Not sure what his status will be for next week. So I think, like I said, I think he got tackled on the shoulder there on that one tackle in the third quarter, and I think that was it for Chich. So we'll get an update on him for next week. But the PBA at it again, Petrillo, Bailey, and Arnold, and the Raiders win their third straight over New Brunswick. Now the winning streaks have never been longer than 3 for North Brunswick, so it might be New Brunswick's turn next year. Who knows? But at least for now, anyway. The Raiders victorious 40-12 over the Zebras. Again, Petrillo, you mentioned Miles Bailey with a couple of touchdown runs. Christian Petrillo, if I'm correct here, if I look through my ledger, let me see. If I look through my ledger, he had a touchdown pass in the first half. Yeah, so a touchdown pass in the first half for Chich. And then the Raiders backups in the second half doing the rest. So, again, 4 straight wins. They'll look forward to Carteret next week over in Carteret. My thanks to Athletic Director Craig Lowry here from New Brunswick. And my thanks to the folks here in the press box as well. Our next broadcast of Raiders football on the King James Radio Network will be next Friday night, October the 12th, where the North Brunswick Raiders will head to Carteret to take on the Carteret Ramblers. Game time is at 7 p.m. Raiders Live pregame presented by the Cal Team and Remax Country will be at 6:30. So, with that, until next Friday night, this is Corbett Thompson saying goodbye, Godspeed. We thank you for listening to this edition of Raiders football on the King James Radio Network. And again, your final score here from Memorial Stadium in New Brunswick, New Jersey. The North Brunswick Raiders 40 and the New Brunswick Zebras 12. We'll talk to you next Friday. You folks, have a good night.